Chapter 405. Fortunately, Bao Bao was convinced by Qin Wushuang. After hearing his words, he finally nodded. Boss Wushuang, I will listen to you. However, I am in a hurry. Seeing Bao Bao had calmed down more or less, Qin Wushuang nodded. Bao Bao, is the Monkey King Mountain closer to the barbarian tribe or the Red Maple Human clan? Bao Bao said. The barbarian tribe is closer to the Monkey King Mountain. The Red Maple Human clan lives in the extreme north of the dispersed Praying Mountain and borders the Xian Yuan Mound. Half of it belongs to the dispersed Praying Mountain and the other half extends to the Xian Yuan Mound. Qin Wushuang said in a low voice. Okay, Bao Bao, you specialize in underground techniques and are the most suitable to scout for information. Lone and I will hurry along the way. When you have finished scouting and gotten the exact information, we will meet again at a location. It's best for this location to be between the Monkey King Mountain and the barbarian tribe. Bao Bao nodded. Okay, this place is not far from the Monkey King Mountain and the barbarian tribe. There is a valley in the west, let's meet there. Okay, without further ado, let's split up. Bao Bao nodded and turned his body on the spot. Then, he returned to his original furry form. This way, it was relatively gentler, and people wouldn't be on guard against it for a while. Boss Wushuang, you guys also need to be careful. Since the Red Maple Human clan has colluded with the barbarian tribe, for sure there will be many sentries along the way. Qin Wushuang said with a smile. Go ahead, Lone and I can take care of these things. The purple flame electric beast twitched his mouth. I am just afraid that they have too few people. The more people they have, the harder it will be to tear them apart. Bao Bao nodded and with a twist of his butt, he dived into the ground. Qin Wushuang calmed himself down and cleaned up the surrounding battlefield. After he had destroyed all the corpses, he called to the purple flame electric beast. Lone, let's go. The purple flame electric beast answered. All right. Still, the purple flame electric beast acted as Qin Wushuang's mount as they sped towards that valley in the west. Along the way, Qin Wushuang was very careful and avoided many sentries. The next evening, they arrived at the valley. After finding a place to set up camp, Qin Wushuang sat down and recuperated. The purple flame electric beast wasn't idle. He was scouting everywhere to check the situation of the enemy. When it was nighttime, the purple flame electric beast finally jumped in front of Qin Wushuang. Boss, there are a few hidden sentries in this valley. Should we pull them out? However, Qin Wushuang asked, have they discovered us? The purple flame electric beast was startled. With those pieces of trash, they won't be able to discover us. Then don't touch them, lest we alert them. The most important thing for us now is to keep it a secret, not to kill a few nobodies. The purple flame electric beast laughed mischievously, and felt somewhat regretful. He said dejectedly, All right, boss, do you want to go into seclusion? I'll protect you. Don't wander around. Just hide in this area. When Bao Bao comes, I estimate that it will take him 3 to 5 days to gather information. If he's fast, he should be able to gather here tomorrow. However, the purple flame electric beast said, Boss, I say you are too careful. If you ask me, what barbarian tribe, what Red Maple Human clan, we should just kill them and cut them into 8 pieces. It's too troublesome, not fun or exciting. Qin Wushuang smiled lightly. He did not find the purple flame electric beast's style strange at all. The purple flame electric beast laughed mischievously. Boss, since you are not speaking, is it because you approve of my words? Or do you not approve of it? What do you think? Qin Wushuang asked back with a chuckle. The purple flame electric beast laughed. I think you approve of me, but you are too embarrassed to admit it. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. Lone, it seems that after being sealed for a few thousand years, your brain is still not calm enough. Of course, this matter is not related to you. Of course, you will not consider it carefully. However, to Bao Bao, this is related to the life and death of the entire monkey clan. We must not be careless. Boss, didn't Bao Bao say that regardless of the barbarian tribe or the red maple human clan, they do not have any elite warriors at the void martial stage? Since there are no void martial stage warriors, let's kill them directly. With the combination of the three of us, we will be invincible and kill them all. Qin Wushuang said. If it's this easy to kill, would this place still be called the Dispersed Praying Mountain? For the Red Maple Human Clan and the Barbarian Tribe, could they not consider Bao Bao? Since they have considered it and still dared to do it, do you believe that they are not prepared? The Purple Flame Electric Beast laughed embarrassedly. Even if they are prepared, there's nothing to be afraid of. I don't believe that they can beat Bao Bao, who is at the Void Martial stage. Qin Wushuang waved his hand. Okay, let's not argue here. Right and wrong we will know when the time comes. One man and one beast spent the night in this valley. During the morning of the second day, the sentries in the valley began to patrol around. Fortunately, Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast were much more powerful than these small fries. They did not need to worry about being discovered by them when they slightly hid their track. Another day had passed. When the sun was setting below the mountain, suddenly Qin Wushuang felt a slight movement beneath his feet. Feeling overjoyed inwardly, he saw Bao Bao crawling out from the ground. Bao Bao, how did it go? Qin Wushuang immediately asked. On Bao Bao's face there was extreme anger as he growled. Indeed, the Red Maple Human Clan and the Barbarian Tribe have colluded together. They have gathered 300 miles away from the Monkey King Mountain and are preparing to attack. This time, the 8 perfect stage warriors of the Red Maple Human Clan and the 5 tribal chiefs of the Barbarian Tribe have all stepped out. They are preparing to raise the Monkey King Mountain to the ground and steal our rare and precious fruit. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. It seems that the holy ivory flower has stimulated them greatly. Bao Bao, just how many more treasures do they want from your Monkey King Mountain? Could there be more holy ivory flower? Bao Bao said with a bitter smile. Boss, the holy ivory flower is a 10,000-year holy object. I have already swallowed it once, it's impossible for there to be more. The next time it appears, I don't know if it will appear in a few 10,000 years, or even a few 100,000 years. Besides, it might not appear at my Monkey King Mountain. Then it's unreasonable for them to attack the Monkey King Mountain. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. One would not rise early without benefits. Since they are not doing it for the holy ivory flower, then they must be doing it to occupy the Monkey King Mountain. They want to take this treasured land as their own and occupy the resources inside. After all, the 10,000-year holy object is too tempting to them. When he said here, Qin Wushuang said, Bao Bao, did you see the elite warriors of those 2 clans? I saw them from afar, but I did not get close. They are cunning and have set up traps and powerful formations all around them. The Red Maple Human Clan specializes in setting up formations. I feel that even elite warriors at the Void Martial stage would not be able to escape once they get trapped by their trap. Qin Wushuang nodded. That's right. If they did not have anything to rely on, it would be somewhat reckless of them to invade the Monkey Clan. Bao Bao, they had calculated everything, including you, they had calculated everything. As long as you go in and attack them recklessly, they will make you suffer. Bao Bao gritted his teeth. Boss, then what should we do now? Qin Wushuang picked up a branch and started to draw on the ground. He was drawing a map of some important strongholds in the Dispersed Praying Mountain. While he drew, he analyzed. Look, this is the Monkey King Mountain. If they were to attack the Monkey King Mountain, the main force would be those elite warriors. This is the Monkey King Mountain. The Barbarian Tribe had attacked once and should know the terrain of the Monkey King Mountain well. All the elders and elite warriors of the Monkey Clan are here. However, compared to the elite warriors of these 2 clans, for sure there is a big difference, right? Bao Bao had to admit. The Red Maple Human Clan and the Barbarian Tribe both have many elite warriors. Although the Monkey Clan also has many elite warriors, Compared to the combined forces of the two clans, there is still a difference. It would be difficult to defend it. Bao Bao, are you sure that the barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan have sent out all their elite warriors? Qin Wushuang asked again. This question was extremely important. Bao Bao nodded and said with a determined tone, Boss Wushuang, I am absolutely sure about this point. Great. After Qin Wushuang agreed, he thought for a moment and asked again, Bao Bao, then I want to ask you, regardless of the barbarian tribe or the Red Maple Human clan, does each of them have the same holy ground as the Monkey clan, the totem forbidden area? Of course they do. Each of their lairs have such important places. Just like your human sex, they all have their own holy ground. Then, would it be a great humiliation if someone were to destroy or invade such holy ground? Qin Wushuang asked again. Of course, the Red Maple Human clan values their inheritance greatly. As for the Deep Abyss Barbarian tribe, they have their own set of belief. They have a special totem temple for worship. If it were to be destroyed, it would be destroying the spiritual beliefs of the barbarian tribe. When he said here, Bao Bao was suspicious. Boss, why are you asking this? Qin Wushuang laughed. If that's the case, then it's easy. Bao Bao, you specialize in traveling underground. If you travel at full speed to the Red Maple Human clan, how many days would it take? 2 days is enough. Okay, we should not need 2 days to go to the underground abyss of the barbarian tribe, right? Qin Wushuang asked with a smile. Bao Bao was surprised. Boss, you mean? A strange smile emerged from the corner of Qin Wushuang's mouth. Bao Bao, if we rush to the Monkey King Mountain recklessly, they will be waiting for us to come in. The initiative was in their hands. To solve this calamity for the Monkey King Mountain, we must take the initiative and take the initiative. How? Now, Bao Bao's blood was boiling because of Qin Wushuang's words. It's simple, since they all have their weak spots, we will attack them. Bao Bao, go to the Red Maple Human clan and attack their holy place with full force. Then, let a few fast ones escape and let them send the message. If the elite warriors of the Red Maple Human clan learn that their home is being attacked, they will surely come back to help. At that time, you can attack along the way in the chaos. Before their formation is stabilized, you can launch a surprise attack and kill 1 or 2 of them. Then, you can disrupt their entire formation. Didn't you say that the Red Maple Human clan specializes in setting up formations? If a formation is missing a few important figures, for sure, it will be greatly weakened. By that time, regardless of war or peace, your Monkey King Mountain will hold the initiative. And me, Lone and I will kill our way to the barbarian tribe's home and burn down their sacrificial temple. Will the chief of the barbarian tribe turn a blind eye to it? Bao Bao laughed. Okay, boss, this is such a bad move, haha. But I like it. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please log on to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 406. Qin Wushuang's strategy caused Bao Bao and the Purple Flame Electric Beast's blood to boil as they both applauded. Qin Wushuang said, Don't delay, move immediately. Bao Bao, remember, this strategy is not a battle of annihilation, but a surprise attack. Shoot 1 shot and change to another location. You must not let them stabilize their footing to deal with you. Bao Bao chuckled. Don't worry, boss. Didn't we break through the 9 palace faction 1 by 1? I am not stupid enough to face them head-on and let them set up their formation to deal with me. They still split into 2 groups. Bao Bao would go one way and Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast would go the other way. They agreed that both parties would gather at the Monkey King Mountain in half a month. Not to mention that Bao Bao would rush to the headquarters of the Red Maple Human clan. Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast rushed towards the headquarters of the barbarian tribe in the underground abyss, according to the accurate map provided by Bao Bao. Currently, regardless of the Red Maple Human clan or the barbarian tribe, their headquarters were relatively empty. The main elite warriors had already gone to the Monkey King Mountain to prepare to take it down. In less than 2 days, Qin Wushuang brought the purple flame electric beast and arrived at the outside of the underground abyss. This underground abyss was located at an extremely low-lying area. Endless swamps surrounded the area and allowed the barbarian tribe to have a layer of natural defense. For this swamp, if one did not step on it properly, most likely they would fall into the quagmire and be unable to extricate themselves. The swallowing power of this quagmire was at least 10 times stronger than ordinary quagmires. Even elite warriors in the martial arts world would be swallowed by the quagmire if they were careless and fell into it, unless someone came to rescue them immediately. This quagmire was about a few hundred miles wide. It was barren and uninhabited. Only the short shrubs could more or less cover their track. If one were to barge into this quagmire during the day, they would not be able to cross it safely and not get discovered unless they had the ability to conceal themselves or grow a pair of wings. Or else, they would only be able to travel at night without being discovered. After Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast discussed for a moment, they decided to wait until nighttime to enter. A few hundred miles of swamp was not a difficult task for experts of their level. As long as he spent a little more spiritual energy than usual, he could walk across this swamp like it was flat ground. "Boss, what the hell is this abyss barbarian tribe living in? Why are you living in this swamp?" The purple flame electric beast was full of complaints. "They don't live in the swamp. They live in the underground abyss. However, the entrance and exit of the abyss are surrounded by the swamp in a secluded place." "Boss, are we just going to set the place on fire? You're not going to tear me apart?" The purple flame electric beast rubbed his fists and palms. He felt that killing and setting fire were 2 parts of the same process. It would be exciting if they happened together. Setting fire and not killing was not exciting enough. However, Qin Wushuang said, "Let's see how it goes. If the fire goes smoothly, we won't kill them if we can. If the barbarian tribe continues to pester us, we can't just let them do it, right? If you need to kill, then kill. Don't hesitate." The purple flame electric beast laughed mischievously and said no more. When night fell, Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast both jumped out. Qin Wushuang said, "Be careful, let's depart." Although this swamp was uneven, overall it was still very flat. Thus, there were not many places for them to hide. As a result, their movements were more or less affected. Their traveling speed was also slightly slower. After walking until the second half of the night, they finally reached the depths of the swamp. 1 man and 1 beast hid behind a cluster of shrubs. Qin Wushuang said in a low voice, "Do you see the piles of rocks in front? That is the entrance of the barbarian tribe. It is impossible for us to avoid all the eyes and ears. Thus, I will be in charge of attracting their attention, and you will set fire. You are good at setting fire, right?" The purple flame electric beast was amused. "Boss, setting fire is my natural duty. How can I not be good at it?" Qin Wushuang laughed. "Then I will go and lure away all the sentries. You will be in charge of setting fire. Remember, don't set fire to the wrong place. Burn down their sacrificial temples. Burn all their sacrificial instruments and props. Burn everything that can be burned." The purple flame electric beast laughed wantonly. "Understood." Qin Wushuang did not have a good impression of the barbarian tribe. When he went to the Monkey King Mountain to retrieve the spiritual infant fruits, he was also surrounded by 3 warriors of the barbarian tribe. Those 3 guys were simply unreasonable and would not stop until they died. Now that the barbarian tribe was preparing to wage war with the Monkey Clan, as a friend of the Monkey Clan, he did not need to think too much. In this world, it was impossible to live in harmony with everyone. Like the barbarian tribe, they were destined to be enemies. There was no need to be polite. With a soft whistle, Qin Wushuang spread out his arms. Like a gust of wind, his body flashed out from the void. Along the way, He let out a low whistle that spread to the surroundings of the barbarian tribe. Instantly, this whistle had attracted all the hidden sentries of the barbarian tribe. They could not help but whistle and let out all kinds of warning sounds. While Qin Wushuang whistled, he shouted, "Barbarian tribe, listen well. Your 5 tribal chiefs have been completely annihilated when they went to the Monkey King Mountain. If you know what's good for you, come out and surrender. We will take over this underground abyss." These words were like a heavy bomb that exploded in the barbarian tribe. Many of the barbarian tribe understood the human language. Shocked, they all came out from the underground abyss to see what was going on. Qin Wushuang knew that the barbarian tribe in the underground abyss had a large population. This swamp area was only the core area of the barbarian tribe, and the rest of the barbarian tribe were scattered across many places in the dispersed Praying Mountain. However, this time, as long as they destroyed the headquarters of the barbarian tribe, those tribal chiefs would definitely come back to help. Who is it? Bullshit. Our barbarian tribe's chief is so strong, how could he be completely annihilated? This person must be a spy. That's right, everyone catch the spy. That's right, he must not be a good person to come to our barbarian tribe's abyss. Catch him. Qin Wushuang laughed and kept urging the qi from his entire body. He deliberately created a loud whistling sound that attracted the attention of the surrounding few hundred miles of the underground abyss. In a moment, the elite warriors of the barbarian tribe that had stayed behind came out one after another. They all started to chase after Qin Wushuang. Apparently, they could feel from Qin Wushuang's qi that this time, he was an elite warrior. In the blink of an eye, a dozen figures followed behind Qin Wushuang. They were all the elders of the barbarian tribe that had stayed behind. Each of them were at the advanced stage. Only, of course, the current Qin Wushuang would not put these elders in his eyes. Along the way, they passed through this swamp. Suddenly, Qin Wushuang and his spear stopped at an empty area. Suddenly, he turned around and looked at this group of barbarian elders with a cold sneer. A mischievous smile emerged from the corner of his mouth. When those elders of the barbarian tribe saw that Qin Wushuang could still be this calm, they became more cautious. One of the one-eyed elders wearing an eye patch sized Qin Wushuang up with one of his eyes. He asked coldly, "Who are you? Do you know where this place is?" Qin Wushuang laughed. "I am Zhang San, disciple of the Red Maple Human Clan. Greetings, elders." Red Maple Human Clan? Those barbarian elders looked at each other in dismay. Impossible! Young disciples of the Red Maple Human Clan, someone as young as you would not have this skill. You are from the Xian Yuan Mound. The barbarian tribe has never interacted with the sects of the Xian Yuan Mound. What do you want to do by coming here? Qin Wushuang smacked his tongue. I am from the Red Maple Human Clan. I am afraid you guys still don't know? The Red Maple Human Clan had already made an agreement with the Monkey King Mountain to deal with the barbarian tribe together. In order to lure out the elite warriors of the barbarian tribe, I pretended to form an alliance with you guys. Then, I would destroy your barbarian tribe in one fell swoop. At this moment, I believe that your 5 tribal chiefs are already out of breath from being besieged. I have received orders from the higher-ups to send out a notice to your Abyss barbarian tribe. Those who surrender will not be killed. Those who resist stubbornly will be killed without mercy. His words made a show of being serious, and made those elders of the barbarian tribe look at each other in dismay. For a time, they could not distinguish the truth from lies. One of the elders shouted, "This kid is talking nonsense. Regardless of whether it's true or not, for sure he has come here with bad intentions. Let's kill him first, then we will make other plans." These elders were enlightened by these words as they all nodded. The barbarian tribe was barbaric and did what they said. All of them took out their weapons and surrounded Qin Wushuang. As soon as this circle shrunk, Qin Wushuang immediately felt that these dozen barbarian elders had moved at a much faster speed as they kept circling around. Qin Wushuang raised his ancestral great spear and locked his gaze on the elder who was hooting just now. Since this guy wanted to hoot, then he would use him to establish his authority. His face was covered with a cold light as he shook his long spear. His body suddenly became like a ray of light as he soared into the sky. The momentum of this rush was like the rising sun before dawn, gushing out. Old 8, be careful! Almost at the same time, Qin Wushuang's shocking spear had already pierced in front of him. That elder of the barbarian tribe subconsciously waved the steel fork in his hand to block. He wanted to block Qin Wushuang's fierce attack. Qin Wushuang's spear tip shook. It was as if the body of the spear had suddenly lengthened as it fiercely pierced forward. An intense ray of light shot out from the spearhead. Here! Qin Wushuang shouted as he raised his arm with all his strength. The steel fork was already placed on the body of the spear. However, the force of this push caused the steel fork to bend. It twisted into an arc that was half curled inwards like a bow. That elder's entire body was drenched in sweat. With just this exchange of blows, he felt as if a mountain was pressing down on him. His two arms seemed to be suppressed by a huge force. They were so sore that they almost lost all feeling. His two legs kept sliding backwards along the swamp. He kept sliding backward. Below his feet there was a deep gully. It was as if an ox was plowing the ground. The gully was very deep. Qin Wushuang sneered. He waved his arm and raised his spear in the air. He shouted and increased his strength again. Suddenly, he smashed down like a stick. Go down! Qin Wushuang shouted and smashed down with his spear. That elder's strong arms suddenly bent. His entire body was like an iron nail that was smashed down by a big hammer. His two legs sank into the swamp. A strong suction force suddenly appeared and reached his waist. This elder was scared out of his wit. He was a member of the barbarian tribe. Naturally, he knew how strong the suction force of the swamp was. Even if it was him, if he was swallowed by the swamp, only death would await him. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 407. Fear, despair, all of these thoughts surged into his mind instantly. That elder resisted with all his strength and shouted madly. Apparently, he was unwilling to fall into this swamp of despair. When those elders saw that their friend had been smashed into the swamp by Qin Wushuang, all of them shouted and waved a dozen of weapons at the same time. They rushed at Qin Wushuang with all their might. Kill him! Everyone, let's work together and kill him! Shouts emerged from all directions as different types of spiritual qi attacks from different weapons flew at Qin Wushuang from all directions. Qin Wushuang laughed and waved his left hand. With the Fury Dragon's soul in his hand, he swung it 3 times in the air. One only heard 3 bursting sounds of whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like the sound of waves, each wave overshadowed the previous one and spread out. 3 ripples of spiritual energy, one after another, radiated outwards with a strong tension. Instantly, this strong vibration power wrapped around all the attacking power. With a boom, it formed a rebounding power and sent it back. While Qin Wushuang waved the Fury Dragon's soul, the ancestral spear in his hand did not stop. Once again, he initiated a wave of power and pressed down. This pressure was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. With a crashing sound, the body of that elder was pressed down by 1 or 2 feet. The swamp directly reached his chest. At this critical moment, that person could not even move his hands freely, not to mention resisting Qin Wushuang's pressure. The suction force of the swamp below continued to surge in wave after wave. Now, this swamp that was used to swallowing outsiders had become the life-reaping talisman for this elder. Each wave of swallowing power dragged him towards the land of death. Before he could shout out half of his desperate cry, that elder's scalp was submerged in the swamp. Qin Wushuang slowly withdrew his spear and turned to fix his gaze at those elders who still had lingering fear. He said with a light smile, "Barbarian tribe, last time when I came to the dispersed praying mountain, someone from your barbarian tribe sneakily attacked me and wanted to kill me. Now your barbarian tribe is plotting to deal with the Monkey Clan. And the Monkey Clan happened to be my benefactor. Pa, stop talking nonsense. Since you have come to the barbarian deep abyss, don't even think about leaving. Kill him." Each of these barbarian elders were swift and fierce people. Or else, how could they sit on the elder seat in the barbarian tribe? The barbarian tribe was different from humans. They weren't good at strategizing, nor were they good at scheming like humans. Their way of solving problems was to kill, primitive and direct. Thus, since they had identified their enemy, they would not have any illusions. Qin Wushuang laughed. Of course, he was not here to fight to the death with the barbarian tribe. Since he had done that to establish his dominance and achieved the desired effect, why would he continue to waste time? He lifted his feet and floated a dozen meters away. He shouted, "Barbarian tribe of the deep abyss, listen up again. If you don't come out and surrender, your entire tribe will be annihilated." Qin Wushuang did not care about the shouts of the elders behind him. Along the way, he had attracted the elite warriors of the barbarian tribe from the deep abyss. Qin Wushuang was neither fast nor slow. He kept circling around at a moderate speed. According to his calculations, the purple flame electric beast should have arrived at the holy worship temple by now. In a moment there would be news. Qin Wushuang had witnessed the purple flame electric beast's ability to set fire. It was no small matter. Before he had finished this thought, suddenly countless barbarians emerged from the deep abyss. Each of them showed a panicked expression and kept running as if they had gone mad. They shouted along the way while speaking the unique language of the barbarian tribe. When Qin Wushuang saw this change, his heart skipped a beat. Could it be that the purple flame electric beast has succeeded? Thinking here, Qin Wushuang did not linger any longer. He quickly ran toward the entrance of the deep abyss, planning to rescue the purple flame electric beast. Ha! From afar, the purple flame electric beast's reckless laughter resounded like a sudden thunder. "Boss, this is great." Apparently, the purple flame electric beast was also running. As he ran, he shouted, "I have set fire to the entire barbarian tribe of the deep abyss. Burn them to death, ha!" When Qin Wushuang heard this, he smiled bitterly in his mind. He knew that this purple flame electric beast had been suppressed for thousands of years and had a ruthless aura in his heart. Now that he was allowed to act alone, without any restriction, of course he would be reckless. He vented out all the anger in his heart. This barbarian tribe became the target of his anger. Not only did he set fire to the holy sacrificial temple, he also set fire along the way. He did not let go of any places with buildings or places that could be set on fire. People of the barbarian tribe kept coming out and wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves. When the elders heard these sounds, they were all shocked. In a short moment, the fire emerged from the deep abyss. The power of the purple flame electric beast's true fire was different from ordinary fire. With just one fire, the headquarters of the barbarian tribe in the deep abyss was burned into a sea of fire. The fire spread out from the deep abyss. The purple flame electric beast yelled, "Great, ha, great!" Qin Wushuang yelled in a low voice, "Quickly, come this way." Behind the purple flame electric beast, there was a group of barbarian tribe experts flocking over. Obviously, these barbarian tribe were gnashing their teeth with hatred towards the murderer who burned their tribe. They wished they could grind his bones into ashes. Just as the purple flame electric beast was about to meet up with Qin Wushuang, he saw so many elite warriors of the barbarian tribe rushing over. His anger flared up again. He twisted his body, turned around and opened his mouth. Whoosh, 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 dozens of true fires were shot out continuously. These true fires were extremely ferocious and went out rapidly. Dozens of continuous true fires came with great momentum and instantly engulfed the dozens of barbarians who were rushing at the front. When the fire rolled up, it was as if a wave had hit them. Once it rolled up, they were instantly engulfed. After a few miserable screams, they were engulfed by the sea of fire. In the blink of an eye, they were burned into ashes. Once the purple flame electric beast killed someone, his anger was completely stimulated. He roared a few times and his entire body turned into a flowing light. Like a cannonball, he rolled up in the sky and crashed back and forth. Now, the elite warriors of the barbarian tribe were like a flock of crows, appearing in a black mass. The entire area within a few dozen miles was filled with elite warriors of the barbarian tribe. However, to the purple flame electric beast, such an encirclement existed in name only. The power of his cannonball attack was extremely powerful. With each attack, a large group of elite warriors of the barbarian tribe would fall. Qin Wushuang opened up a path with his long spear and swept away all the obstacles. He rushed to the front of the purple flame electric beast and yelled in a low voice, "Enough killing, quickly retreat." After all, this was the nest of the barbarian tribe. Even if the strength of the barbarian tribe was not great, it would not be a good thing if they were surrounded in other people's territory, especially in this dangerous swamp. The purple flame electric beast grinned. "Just retreat." Qin Wushuang did not allow him to explain and jumped onto the back of the purple flame electric beast. "Let's go!" The purple flame electric beast did not dare to act rashly in front of Qin Wushuang. He laughed. "All right." He channeled all the spiritual qi in his body, opened up a path with his claws and fangs, and separated the fire. He rushed forward with all his strength and had already jumped 200 meters away. Before he landed, Qin Wushuang swung his Fury Dragon Soul 3 times and swept away all the elite warriors of the barbarian tribe below. The purple flame electric beast landed on the ground and used the force to jump another 200 or 300 meters. Just like that, he kept leaping and running forward. When the elders of the barbarian tribe saw them leave so easily, they could not help but become furious. They all yelled, "Archers, archers, shoot them to death!" The barbarian tribe specialized in using bows and arrows. Only, to Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast, these bows and arrows were not much of a threat. Before those arrows could reach Qin Wushuang, they were swept away by Qin Wushuang's whip. The skin of the purple flame electric beast was extremely thick, and he even turned a blind eye to these arrows. To the purple flame electric beast, the arrows shot by normal initial stage spiritual martial force warriors were like tickles. Only, these arrows that kept shooting at him had enraged the purple flame electric beast. He yelled, "Boss, how about we go back and kill them again?" Qin Wushuang smiled calmly. "No need." He grabbed a dozen of the arrows that were shooting at him. He pulled the graceful spiritual bow and knocked all the arrows on it. "Open!" Qin Wushuang yelled lightly and loosened his arm. Under the power of the graceful spiritual bow, the dozen of arrows shot out with the speed of light. They turned into a dozen of bright lights and shot out. Whoosh! The sky was filled with flying lights. In the next moment, a series of poochie sounds could be heard. Instantly, everywhere the arrows went, they were shot down. Row after row, they kept falling down. Qin Wushuang's casual move had greatly reduced the arrogance of those barbarian archers as they all retreated. When the elders of the barbarian tribe saw this, they kept yelling and rushed up. They grabbed the bows and arrows and were about to shoot them themselves. With a cold sneer, Qin Wushuang grabbed another dozen arrows. Using the same method, he shot out a series of arrows in rapid succession. When the elders at the front saw the ferocious power of the arrows, they were about to retreat. However, the speed was too fast. When those at the front had reacted, those at the back had no time to make the next move. With a few poochie sounds, a few elders instantly fell to the ground. Qin Wushuang squeezed his legs and urged, "Let's go!" When the elders of the barbarian tribe saw Qin Wushuang's powerful moves, they were all dumbstruck. Those who reacted quickly yelled, "Inform the chief, ask them to come back quickly, inform the chief." Although Qin Wushuang did not understand the language of the barbarian tribe, he could guess most of it from their gestures and expressions. He laughed at the purple flame electric beast. Got it! However, the purple flame electric beast was full of energy. Boss, where should we ambush the chief of the barbarian tribe? Qin Wushuang laughed lightly. No rush, let's talk after we get out of this swamp. After breaking through the first layer of encirclement, the rest would not be a problem. When the sky turned bright, Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast dashed out of this swamp. I don't know if Bao Bao has reached the Red Maple human clan. Qin Wushuang was somewhat worried. Boss, Bao Bao's moves are stronger than yours and mine. With him making a move, what problems could there be? The purple flame electric beast was rather reassured. I had just finished writing a chapter and the power was cut off again. I could only upload it now. The old bull wanted to cry. Initially, I planned to upload this chapter tomorrow. However, after considering that I promised my book friend Little Sun a happy birthday at the end of the chapter, I waited until the power came back. Yes, I still have to thank you today. Another Alliance Master has appeared. At the same time, I wish Little Sun a happy birthday. Finally, I promoted the new group. All the readers who support Xing He can join. Xing He, official group, 132424122, to be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 408. One man and one beast left the barbarian tribe quickly. When they arrived at the outskirts, Qin Wushuang slowed down his speed. From his estimation, the barbarian tribe should have already left to inform the tribal chief. Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast hid themselves in a remote place. This place had a wide terrain and they could attack or retreat. The roads extended in all directions. It would be the best place to ambush those tribal chief. Boss, are we going to choose here? The purple flame electric beast asked curiously. Qin Wushuang nodded. Yes, we will choose here. The purple flame electric beast laughed. Boss, this time, let's play bigger. How about it? How should we play bigger? Kill all the leaders of the barbarian tribe, the purple flame electric beast said with a cold tone. The barbarian tribe has 5 tribal chiefs. It would be difficult to kill them all at once, Qin Wushuang said in a low voice. However, if we don't kill them, are you not afraid that the barbarian tribe will seek revenge from the Stargaze Palace? The purple flame electric beast asked back. These words had hit Qin Wushuang's soft spot. Yes, after this incident, the barbarian tribe would blame this on Qin Wushuang. It would implicate the Stargaze Palace and even the Eastwood Qin. It was a situation Qin Wushuang would never wish to see. However, to speak the truth, it would be extremely difficult to kill all 5 tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe. It was almost impossible. After all, the 5 tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe were not ordinary people. Each of them was an elite warrior at the perfect stage. Although Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast were powerful, they were still within the perfect stage. They had yet to truly merge with the sky and reach the void martial stage. Unless one of them had advanced to the void martial stage, it would be impossible to kill 5 perfect stage warriors at the same time. Boss, don't you think what I said makes sense? The purple flame electric beast asked when he saw Qin Wushuang remaining silent. Lone, unless Bao Bao is here, with just the 2 of us, we have no chance of winning against the 5 tribal chief. Even if I were to use the graceful spiritual bow to launch a sneak attack and kill 1 or 2 of them, it would still be difficult to annihilate them all. Kill as many as you can. Besides, I don't think we have no hope at all. Boss, think of a way. If we can kill 2 or 3 of them in the first attack, I believe that we will have a great chance. Qin Wushuang smiled and said, killing 2 or 3 people in one go is easier said than done. With Boss' graceful spiritual bow and my sneak attack, the first attack is more or less certain. The purple flame electric beast insisted on his opinion. The barbarian tribe's intelligence will definitely describe our characteristics clearly. The barbarian tribe's chieftains will naturally think of me. When they think of me, they will know that I have the graceful spiritual bow, so they will be on guard along the way. The difficulty of a sneak attack will greatly increase. When Qin Wushuang was at the Monkey King Mountain, he had once used the graceful spiritual bow to save the Monkey King Mountain from danger. Those barbarian tribes' chieftains would not have no impression of him. Plus, Qin Wushuang's reputation was soaring in the human countries. A tall tree attracts the wind. Most likely, he would not have any secrets from the barbarian tribe. The purple flame electric beast still wanted to argue, but Qin Wushuang said, "Lone, don't speak, let me think." Boss, up to this point, what are you thinking about? Lone, look, we have already succeeded. Most likely, Bao Bao has just arrived at the Red Maple Human Clan's territory. I am afraid it will take a few days for the intelligence from the Red Maple Human Clan to arrive, right? Yes, since the Red Maple Human Clan is further away, for sure the intelligence will arrive later. Then what if the barbarian tribe's intelligence also alarmed the Red Maple Human Clan? If they return early, wouldn't it affect Bao Bao's plan? How? When the Red Maple Human Clan received the news from the barbarian tribe, they rushed back early because they were worried about their home. There will be a time difference between their return after receiving the intelligence from the Red Maple Human Clan. This time difference will affect Bao Bao's ambush plan. Hearing Qin Wushuang's detailed explanation, the purple flame electric beast finally understood. He was stunned. Boss, then what do you think we should do? Qin Wushuang frowned and thought for a moment. Suddenly, he had an idea and said, Lone, let's give up on the barbarian tribe. Give up? Instantly, the purple flame electric beast was unhappy. Boss, we finally created such an opportunity, and you are telling us to give up. What is going on? However, Qin Wushuang said with a smile, of course, we have other plans if we give up. What plans? The purple flame electric beast mumbled. Now, he only wanted to fight with those 5 tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe. He did not care about anything else. If we split up with Bao Bao, it would be like 2 fists hitting people separately. We would not have any advantage. Bao Bao would only be scratching an itch when dealing with the Red Maple Human Clan. And when we deal with the barbarian tribe, we would not be able to kill all their leaders. Thus, we should focus our fists on one target. Who? The purple flame electric beast became interested again. The Red Maple Human Clan. A trace of wisdom and confidence flashed across Qin Wushuang's eyes. The barbarian tribe is on tenterhooks all the way. They must be worried that we will ambush them along the way. We will not ambush them. We will avoid them and follow the footsteps of the Red Maple Human Clan. By that time, wouldn't it be more satisfying to attack the Red Maple Human Clan from 2 sides with Bao Bao? And the barbarian tribe is overly suspicious. They must be worried that we are watching them from all sides. They will not invade the Monkey King Mountain again in a short period of time. When we have finished dealing with the Red Maple Human Clan, we will turn around and take care of the barbarian tribe. It will be easier to achieve by concentrating all our forces. The purple flame electric beast was not a brainless spiritual beast. He thought quickly and felt that Qin Wushuang's words made sense. Since they could not inflict heavy losses on one side by dividing their forces, they should concentrate all their advantages and attack one side first, then the other. These 2 sides were separated by tens of thousands of miles, and would not be able to help in time. Boss, let's do as you say. Let's also give Bao Bao a surprise. Instantly, the purple flame electric beast was full of energy and his desire for battle had increased greatly. However, Qin Wushuang was not in a hurry. Don't be hasty. To carry out this plan, we still need some arrangements. Firstly, we must avoid the 5 tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe. Secondly, we must make sure that the Red Maple Human clan has started to return. Thirdly, if they have already returned, we must make sure that we can catch up to them and follow them without getting discovered. Fourthly, to deal with the Red Maple Human clan, we must ask the Monkey clan of the Monkey King Mountain. As for how to deal with the Red Maple Human clan, whether to kill them all or inflict heavy losses, we will need the Silver Monkey King's decision. The Purple Flame Electric Beast said, "The third one is simple. With my speed, even if they leave a day earlier, I will definitely catch up. There is no time to lose. Let's head towards the direction of the Monkey King Mountain," Qin Wushuang ordered. After they had made up their mind, Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast did not stop and rushed towards the Monkey King Mountain at a high speed. While the Purple Flame Electric Beast was rushing, he said with a smile, "Boss, no matter how fast the intelligence of the barbarian tribe is, they cannot be faster than me. I am confident that I can reach the edge of the Monkey King Mountain faster than their intelligence." Qin Wushuang said with a smile, "That's the best. If that's the case, then we don't need to consider the first one. As for the second one, we can calmly observe if the Red Maple Human clan has retreated. The closer we are to the Monkey King Mountain, the more convenient it will be to carry out the third and fourth one. Alright, watch me." The Purple Flame Electric Beast increased his speed and used all his strength. His speed was as fast as his name. Like lightning, he had rushed over 100 miles in an instant. Without stopping, when they arrived at the edge of the Monkey King Mountain, the intelligence of the barbarian tribe was not even 2/3 of the way there. "Boss, it seems that we are going too far," the Purple Flame Electric Beast joked. However, Qin Wushuang was unusually calm. He looked around and confirmed, "The intelligence of the barbarian tribe has not arrived yet. Looking at the situation, it seems that the barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan are preparing to launch an attack." "Launching an attack?" "Yes," Qin Wushuang said calmly. "They are not afraid of Bao Bao's revenge? To them, the Monkey King Mountain is too tempting. As long as they control the Monkey King Mountain, they will have more ways to ambush Bao Bao." Qin Wushuang analyzed. "Wouldn't they have more assurance if they set up an ambush at the Monkey Clan's nest?" The Purple Flame Electric Beast said with an evil grin, "Boss, what should we do now?" "Wait." Qin Wushuang only gave one word. "Wait." The Purple Flame Electric Beast was somewhat confused. Yes, wait for the intelligence of the barbarian tribe to arrive and see how they react. This was their only choice. It would be impossible for them to break through the encirclement of these two houses and enter the Monkey King Mountain. If they got any closer, most likely they would be sensed by the other party. Thus, they could only wait in this area. Wait for the intelligence of the barbarian tribe to arrive. Fortunately, they did not need to wait for too long. After half a day, the tribesmen of the barbarian tribe arrived. Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast were secretly overjoyed when they saw the arrival of the barbarian tribe's intelligence personnel. "A good show is coming, Lone, wait for it." That elite warrior of the barbarian tribe finally arrived at a fast speed. Just as he charged to the front, he was stopped by the sentries on the outside. "Hurry and inform the 5 tribal chiefs, something has happened to the tribe." That elite warrior of the barbarian tribe revealed an anxious expression. However, he spoke in a low voice to avoid the eyes and ears of the surrounding people. Hearing his words and knowing that he was an elder of the barbarian tribe, the sentries who stopped him did not dare to neglect him and immediately went to report to the 5 tribal chiefs. Currently, the 5 tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe were discussing with the 8 elite warriors of the Red Maple Human clan on how to attack the Monkey King Mountain. They all agreed that to break through the Monkey King Mountain, the most crucial thing was to kill the Silver Monkey King. As long as the Silver Monkey King died, the other elders of the Monkey Clan would not be a threat. Only, the Silver Monkey King was powerful. In terms of one-on-one, no one here was his opponent. Thus, to deal with the Silver Monkey King, the most crucial thing was to surround him. If they could surround and kill the Silver Monkey King in the shortest amount of time. This was the key to this battle. While they were discussing, one of the confidants of the barbarian tribe's great tribal chief walked over and whispered a few words in the great tribal chief's ear. The great tribal chief's expression obviously changed. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 409. The 8 elite warriors of the Red Maple Human Clan enjoyed the supreme position in the clan. They were the suzerains of the 8 major territories of the Red Maple Human Clan. On the surface, these 8 territories were equal. In fact, the highest ruler of the Red Maple Human Clan was still the biggest suzerain, Yi Wentong. For the other 7 suzerains, regardless of personal strength, intelligence, decisiveness, charisma and other aspects, they were far inferior to Yi Wentong. Yi Wentong's strength was almost on par with the Silver Monkey King. He was also an elite warrior that had 1 foot in the Void Martial stage. He was only 1 step away and could enter the Void Martial stage at any moment. Although he was only 1 step away from the Void Martial stage, there was still a great difference in whether he had taken this step or not. Once he had taken this step, he would enter the Void Martial stage and his strength would increase tremendously. If he had not taken this step, even if he was stronger than the other suzerains, he would only have a slight difference within the perfect stage. He would not have an overwhelming advantage. Yi Wentong was a very alert person. When he saw the confidant of the barbarian tribe's great tribal chief suddenly walk in, he felt that something was wrong. When he saw the confidant whispering into Yi Wentong's ear, he became even more suspicious. Even though he was suspicious inwardly, he remained calm on the surface. He would wait to see the next reaction of the barbarian tribe. The head tribal chief of the barbarian tribe stood up and said, "Suzerain Yi, our headquarters was attacked. Even the holy sacrificial temple was burned down." As soon as the head tribal chief said these words, the other 4 tribal chiefs all stood up and looked at him with disbelief. The head tribal chief said angrily, "The guardian elder of the tribe came to report, this is definitely not a joke. Who did it? Yes, who would have the guts?" Those tribal chiefs of the barbarian tribe cried out angrily. When they heard that the holy sacrificial temple had been burned down, it was a terrible nightmare. To the barbarian tribe, the holy sacrificial temple was the source of their faith and the supreme holy place. How could they suppress the anger in their hearts when they heard such news? Each of them kept swearing and gnashing their teeth in anger. Head tribal chief, who did it? Yes, who did it? The barbarian tribe is not to be trifled with. We must find out who did it and chop them into 8 pieces. The great chief said, "The holy temple has been burned down. We can't stay here any longer. We have to go back and take a look. Lord Yi, the plan to attack the Monkey King Mountain will have to be put on hold for now." However, Yi Wentong said, "Great chieftain, for someone to be able to barge into your savage tribe's several hundred miles swamp, his strength must be extraordinary. Don't you have any information about the enemy?" The great tribal chief gritted his teeth and said, "No matter who it is, my barbarian tribe will make him pay the price. Of course. The problem now is, this enemy definitely wouldn't appear out of nowhere. It is very important to find out who did this." Yi Wentong's brain was much more flexible than the chiefs of the barbarian tribe. The great tribal chief thought for a moment and said to his trusted aide, "Call in the elder who delivered the letter." The confidant walked out and soon led the elder in. "Second elder, tell me, who are the people who attacked my tribe?" When that second elder saw the situation on that day, he explained everything in detail. He also described the characteristics of Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast. Yi Wentong's expression changed. Second elder, you mean that young human knows that our two tribes are working together to deal with the Monkey King Mountain? Yes, not only does he know, but he also said that the great tribal chief and the others have been defeated. He said that your Red Maple Human clan and the Monkey King Mountain have been in cahoots for a long time and made our barbarian tribe fall into a trap. Yi Wentong sneered. This is a very sinister plan to drive a wedge between us. Chiefs, I'm afraid that our secret has been leaked. Does the great tribal chief have any idea about the enemy's origin? The great tribal chief's complexion was ashen. One man and one beast turned the entire barbarian tribe upside down? Who is this person? Suddenly, the second chief said, Second elder, you said that person has a very powerful bow and arrow? Yes, when that bow is pulled, 10 to 20 arrows will be shot out at once. The power is frightening. With a flash of light, the arrows will arrive in front of us. Even a few of our tribe's elders were shot to death by that bow. That second chief exchanged a glance with the other two chiefs. Suddenly, a trace of fear emerged from their eyes. Apparently, they remembered the first time when they attacked the Monkey King Mountain. They remembered that human who meddled in their business. Great tribal chief, most likely, that young man is the one who helped the Monkey Clan at the Monkey King Mountain. The second chief gave a long sigh. It's him? The great tribal chief was shocked. This way, doesn't it mean that the Gold Monkey King of the Monkey Clan has returned? That guy has an unusual relationship with the Gold Monkey King. I'm afraid that's the case. The second chief and the other two chiefs all nodded. Yi Wentong said, Gold Monkey King, have you investigated the identity of that young human? The great tribal chief said with a bitter tone, Who said we didn't investigate? That person came from the human countries and is only 20 years old. His name is Qin Wushuang. He is a disciple of the Stargaze Palace of the Great Luo Empire. He almost single-handedly destroyed the 9 palace faction of the human countries. Qin Wushuang, could he be that Qin Wushuang who killed Zhua Tianxi a few days ago? Immediately, Yi Wentong's tone became nervous. The news of Qin Wushuang defeating the 9 palace faction and killing Zhua Tianxi in anger had already spread across the human countries. At the same time, the news had also entered the dispersed Praying Mountain through different channels. It had even reached the ears of the major powerhouses of the Xian Yuan Mound. Like a rising star, the 3 words Qin Wushuang attracted everyone's attention. After all, even in the Xian Yuan Mound, it was rare to see someone who could achieve such accomplishments at the age of 20. That's him. The great tribal chief's eyes were filled with ruthlessness. Qin Wushuang, what grudge does the barbarian tribe have with you? You destroyed the foundation of the barbarian tribe. It's truly despicable. Everyone, let's go back and take a look. That kid will not go far. Regardless of how powerful he is, he must die since he burned down my holy sacrificial temple. The other 4 tribal chiefs agreed in unison. However, Yi Wentong roared, Hold on. I will ask the second elder one more time. Was it Qin Wushuang and a spiritual beast that came to cause trouble at your barbarian tribe? Yes. The second elder answered carefully. Is that spiritual beast the Gold Monkey King? Yi Wentong asked. No, it's not the Gold Monkey King. That monster had a ferocious expression and a ferocious appearance. It was not an ape at all. Instead, it was more like a lion. And it could breathe fire. The great tribal chief mumbled to himself, Yes, yes. Without a doubt, it's Qin Wushuang. According to the information, Qin Wushuang has 2 spiritual beasts next to him. One is that stinky monkey from the Monkey King Mountain, and the other is this evil beast that can breathe fire. This evil beast burned down my temple. When I catch it, I must skin it and pull out its tendons. Great tribal chief, have you ever thought about where that Gold Monkey King went? Yi Wentong asked cautiously. I don't care where that stinky monkey went. We will go back now. It's best if we don't run into them. Otherwise, either they die or we die. The great tribal chief was flustered and exasperated. He kept cursing and was about to go out. Great tribal chief, if you go out like this, you will fall right into their trap. Yi Wentong said hurriedly. How could we fall into their trap? The great tribal chief said angrily. They attacked the sacrificial temple in order to lure you back. Think about it, if they ambushed you halfway, wouldn't you fall into their trap if you hurried back? How does the great chieftain think you'll deal with it? Since they already know our attack plan, they must have made precise arrangements. In my opinion, they must be ambushing you halfway, waiting for you to hurry back. That Qin Wushuang has the divine bow to protect him, so he is more suitable for a sneak attack. One hit for sure. Although Yi Wentong was exaggerating to scare them, his words were somewhat reasonable. This made the barbarian tribe's tribal chiefs hesitate. Yes, if they rushed back now, it would be easy for them to fall into the enemy's ambush. Suzerain Yi, according to your words, what should we do? The great tribal chief said with an anxious tone. We can't just ignore our barbarian tribe being attacked, right? A trace of ruthlessness flashed across Yi Wentong's eyes as he said, Great tribal chief, if I were their opponent, for sure I would ambush you halfway. Why must we follow their train of thought? Why don't we endure and take down the Monkey King Mountain in one spurt of energy? Once we take down the Monkey King Mountain, the entire dispersed praying mountain will be controlled by us too. By that time, wouldn't it be as easy as catching a turtle in a jar to capture them inside the dispersed praying mountain? If we do not end the battle quickly when attacking the Monkey King Mountain, and they get the information, they will attack us from behind. Wouldn't it be more troublesome for us? The great tribal chief was not brainless. Thus, we must be fast, accurate, and ruthless. We must aim for one hit, Yi Wentong said with a solemn tone. The other tribal chiefs all objected as they opened their mouths. Great tribal chief, now it's most important to go back and take care of the headquarters. We can delay attacking the Monkey King Mountain. What if those fellows start a massacre in the barbarian tribe and completely destroy the headquarters of the tribe? That would be the end of our foundation. The great tribal chief also felt that the future of the barbarian tribe was the most important. He shook his head and said, Suzerain Yi, your suggestion is reasonable. However, I am afraid we cannot agree. Yi Wentong gave a long sigh. I am afraid that if you don't listen to me, you will be ambushed on the way back. The great tribal chief said proudly, As long as we are careful, they will ambush us. It will save us the trouble of searching everywhere. Yi Wentong still wanted to persuade him, but the great tribal chief had already ordered, Everyone pack up and retreat immediately. Send elite scouts along the way to investigate the enemy. After they had finished assigning the tasks, the 5 tribal chiefs did not stop. They left after bidding farewell to the 8 suzerains of the Red Maple Human clan. Yi Wentong saw that the barbarian tribe was swift and fierce. They left just like that. He could not help but sigh. The barbarian tribe did not listen to my advice. This time, they will definitely suffer losses. The second suzerain, Zhang Qintong, suddenly said, Suzerain Yi, only 1 man and 1 beast attacked the barbarian tribe. Do you think that golden-haired monkey will go to our Red Maple Human clan to cause trouble? These words woke up the person in his dream. Yi Wentong's expression changed. Second suzerain's words woke me up. Not good, I am afraid that the enemy will split into 2 groups and attack our nest. Give the order to retreat and reinforce. When Yi Wentong thought about the interests of the Red Maple Human clan, he completely forgot about the advice he had given to the barbarian tribe. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 410. Instantly, the news from the barbarian tribe had changed the situation. Although the barbarian tribe retreated quickly, the Red Maple Human clan did not dare to fall behind. Their retreating speed was not slower than the barbarian tribe. Qin Wushuang, who was observing from afar in the dark, was overjoyed when he saw such formation. He knew that these two major clans were retreating. Everything was going according to his plan. Qin Wushuang said in a low voice, "Lone, do you see the formation? The barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan are already retreating." The Purple Flame Electric Beast laughed. "That's good, boss, everything is going according to your plan." The Red Maple Human clan had already gathered and waited for orders. Yi Wentong said, "Everyone, there is a sudden change in the situation. The headquarters of the barbarian tribe is under attack. I am worried that the enemy will split into two groups and cause trouble at the headquarters of the Red Maple Human clan. This time, we will postpone the plan to attack the Monkey King Mountain. We will return to the headquarters to provide assistance." When he said here, Yi Wentong paused for a moment. He glanced at the other suzerains of the Red Maple Human clan and ordered, "Second suzerain Zhang Qintong, third suzerain Qing Bo, fourth suzerain Gong Sunli. You three will lead your men and act as the vanguard. You must be careful along the way to avoid being ambushed. The rest of the main force will arrive soon. The two teams will stay within 100 miles of each other. Both sides will look after each other. Regardless of which side is under attack, they can help each other." No wonder Yi Wentong was the #1 warrior of the Red Maple Human clan in the dispersed Praying Mountain. He had considered all kinds of possibilities in his arrangement. He hypothesized that if the enemy truly went to destroy the headquarters of the Red Maple Human clan, surely they had considered luring their main force back and ambushing them along the way. If they were ambushed, it would be easy for them to become flustered when all the teams were gathered in one place. On the contrary, if the team was divided into two groups, they would keep a certain distance from each other. Regardless of the first or second group, the other group could provide assistance when they were ambushed. With such consideration and such arrangement, it would make the return journey of the Red Maple Human clan much safer. Qin Wushuang also felt somewhat impressed when he saw the arrangement of the Red Maple Human clan from afar. He knew that there must be elite warriors among the Red Maple Human clan who had seen through some clues. And apparently they already had a countermeasure. Of course, Qin Wushuang's sudden change of plan became a trap within a trap. Even if the other party had arranged it this way, with him and the Purple Flame Electric Beast following behind, they were still a surprise troop that the enemy could not predict. Even if the Red Maple Human clan could coordinate with each other when Bao Bao launched a sneak attack, Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast could act as a surprise attack. After the Red Maple Human clan's allocation was completed, the first group of troops began their return journey under the leadership of the three lords. After traveling for about an hour, the main force of the Red Maple Human clan left. "Boss, the barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan have left. Shouldn't we be on our way now?" The Purple Flame Electric Beast whispered. Qin Wushuang shook his head. "Don't worry. Let's wait for another hour. Let them go first. With the strength of your legs, are you afraid that you won't be able to catch up?" The Purple Flame Electric Beast said proudly. 1 hour? Even if they leave half a day earlier, I can still catch up." "That's good. Let's wait a little longer. For now, let's not expose ourselves and stay calm." "Why?" The Purple Flame Electric Beast could not understand. "Everyone has left. Are you afraid of something fishy?" However, Qin Wushuang said lightly, "Since ancient times, nothing is too deceitful in war. It's always good to be careful." One man and one beast hid in the dark and waited for more than an hour. Just when the Purple Flame Electric Beast was about to jump out, Qin Wushuang stopped him. "Hold on." Suddenly, the Purple Flame Electric Beast also sensed something. He also sensed that a few figures had jumped out from the dark and wandered around. These people were all elite warriors of the Red Maple Human clan. Previously, they did not leave but hid in the surrounding area. Apparently, they had received special care from Yi Wentong. He asked them to hide in this area and see if there would be any reaction after they retreated. Big Brother Kai, 1 hour has passed. There are no movements. Let's go back and report to the great suzerain. The man called Brother Kai's eyes were like an eagle's as he scanned the area a few times and nodded. The High Lord is very careful. He let us observe this place for a while to guard against the enemy's arrangements and deliberately play some tricks to scare us. Yes, the great suzerain is very thoughtful. All right, it's good that nothing is happening here. Brothers, let's speed up and catch up with the group. That Big Brother Kai waved his hand and left quickly with his brothers. The purple flame electric beast saw this scene clearly from the dark. He couldn't help but curse. Motherf **Ker, this Red Maple Human clan is really cunning and suspicious. Qin Wushuang did not think so. In his opinion, this was only the most basic method. If the Red Maple Human clan retreated without leaving anyone behind, then they would be too useless. Boss, are we going out? After the lesson just now, the purple flame electric beast had obviously learned his lesson. He was not as impulsive and arrogant as before. Now, he had experienced the wisdom of a human. It was not something his brain could compare with. He admired Qin Wushuang even more. Qin Wushuang remained silent. Suddenly, the purple flame electric beast crouched down again and cursed in a low voice. Damn it, there's another group! Indeed, from the side of the Monkey King Mountain, another powerful force rushed down. They landed in the area where they were stationed. When Qin Wushuang looked from afar, he was overjoyed inwardly. This time, the people who came were not from the Red Maple Human clan, but the elders of the Monkey clan. Under the leadership of the Silver Monkey King, they were observing the area where they were stationed. The Silver Monkey King's face was serious and angry. Those elders of the Monkey clan looked around for a while, and gathered together to report. His Majesty, the Silver Monkey King, they retreated as expected. How can this group of barbarians come and go as they please? Damn it, there must be some conspiracy. Those elders of the Monkey clan expressed their opinions and scratched their ears and cheeks. It was obvious that they were anxious about the change in the situation. When the Monkey King Mountain heard that the barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan had colluded and planned to besiege the Monkey King Mountain, they were enraged. They had already made preparations for battle. This time, all the elders and experts of the Monkey clan were in the clan. They had already made preparations to fight to the death with the barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human clan. However, they did not expect that the two tribes would retreat when the battle was about to break out. Even the experienced and knowledgeable Silver Monkey King was puzzled by this scene. After a moment of silence, the Silver Monkey King opened his mouth and said, "The retreat this time is strange. I'm afraid there is some conspiracy. Your Majesty Silver Monkey King, now that things have progressed to this stage, they are just waiting to attack the Monkey King Mountain. What conspiracy can they play? Attacking the Monkey King Mountain was an open scheme, something obvious. There is no need to retreat in order to advance." Among the Monkey clan, there were also some wise ones. Apparently, they were also puzzled by this scene. Your Majesty, could it be that they have received the news that Bao Bao is coming back? One of the elders of the Monkey clan thought of Bao Bao immediately. As soon as he spoke these words, it immediately resonated with everyone. The other elders also nodded and said, "Yes, how come we didn't think of it? Could it be that Bao Bao is coming back?" The Silver Monkey King said in a low voice, "Even if Bao Bao is coming back, one Bao Bao should not be enough to scare them to this extent. This time, they must have considered Bao Bao as a factor. They must have made arrangements specifically for Bao Bao. The Red Maple Human clan has always planned before acting. It's impossible for them to attack the Monkey King Mountain without any preparation. If it's not because of Bao Bao, then what could it be?" Could it be that some elite warrior from the Xian Yuan Mound gave the order to retreat? Who? Miss Mu Rong? Although Miss Mu Rong visited the Monkey Clan and has some relationship with the Monkey Clan, the Mu Rong clan also has some dealings with the Barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human Clan. It's impossible for them to treat the Monkey Clan with special attention. These higher-ups of the Monkey Clan spoke one after another and had different opinions. While they were talking, suddenly, the Silver Monkey King felt a flash of green light before his eyes. He did not panic, and in a flash, he grabbed something with his hand. When he fixed his eyes, it was a lush green arrow. When the Silver Monkey King saw this object, his uncertain expression suddenly became as radiant as the sunshine in March. He laughed. An old friend has come to visit. However, those elders of the Monkey Clan did not recognize this arrow. When the Silver Monkey King saw the arrow, he spread it out in his hand. Young Master Qin, come out. Qin Wushuang scuttled out from the sky. With a smile on his face, he said, Your Majesty Silver Monkey King, it's great that you are leading the team down the mountain. When the Silver Monkey King saw Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast next to him, he did not see Bao Bao. Instantly, the smile on his face froze as he asked with surprise, Young Master Qin, where is Bao Bao? Qin Wushuang said with a smile, Silver Monkey King, let's talk in private. The Silver Monkey King understood and led the team to a hidden place at the foot of the Monkey King Mountain. When they arrived at a safe place, the Silver Monkey King asked a few elders to stand guard. Then, he started to talk with Qin Wushuang. Young Master Qin, don't keep us in suspense. Where is Bao Bao? To the Monkey Clan, Bao Bao, the Gold Monkey King, was their greatest treasure. Even if they had to give up the Monkey King Mountain, they must protect Bao Bao's bloodline of the ancient spiritual monkey. With Bao Bao, the Monkey Clan had hope. Your Majesty Silver Monkey King, why did the Barbarian tribe and the Red Maple Human Clan retreat? It's not because of other reasons, but because their headquarters was attacked. I saw that they had set up a formation at the Monkey King Mountain. If we were to charge in, regardless of me or Bao Bao, I am afraid we could not break the formation of the Red Maple Human Clan. Thus, Bao Bao and I split up. I went to set fire to the Barbarian tribe, and he went to destroy the Red Maple Human Clan's nest. When the news came, they had to retreat. The Silver Monkey King could not help but laugh. Good plan, young Master Qin. Your Majesty Silver Monkey King, up to this point, only half of the plan had succeeded. We did retreat, but we did not bring fatal damage to the enemy. According to the plan, Bao Bao would ambush the Red Maple Human Clan halfway through their retreat. As for us, we will ambush the Barbarian tribe on their way back. Bao Bao would ambush the main force of the Red Maple Human Clan alone? Isn't this too dangerous? The Silver Monkey King became anxious again. Bao Bao's safety was everything to the Monkey Clan. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please log on to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 411. Haha, old patriarch, you don't know, right? That kid Bao Bao is at the Void Martial stage. For the Red Maple Human Clan, even if Bao Bao could not beat them, it would not be a problem for him to escape. The purple flame electric beast cried out. From the Silver Monkey King to those elders of the Monkey Clan, all of them were dumbstruck. Bao Bao is at the Void Martial stage? Qin Wushuang nodded to confirm as he looked at their expectant eyes. Yes, it's been a while since Bao Bao broke into the Void Martial stage. Shape refinement is miraculous. Don't worry about him, Your Majesty. The Silver Monkey King felt extremely comforted. Good, good. Void Martial stage, ha ha ha, good. A series of good had fully expressed the Silver Monkey King's mood. Each of those elders of the Monkey Clan was beaming with joy. They scratched their heads, scratched their eyes, and appeared extremely excited. Your Majesty, now these two clans have invaded the Monkey King Mountain. As for the next step, His Majesty the Monkey King had to make a decision. Should we fight or make peace? If we make peace, I will not speak a word. If we fight, I have a strategy that we must discuss as soon as possible. A trace of anger flashed across the Silver Monkey King's eyes. The barbarian tribe has targeted the Monkey Clan again and again. It seems that the balance of power between the three houses in the dispersed Praying Mountain will be broken. Since they have already colluded, we must fight even if we don't want to. Young Master Qin, please speak your mind. Qin Wushuang did not panic as he opened his mouth to speak. Initially, we had planned to split into two groups and attack them separately. We were in charge of attacking the barbarian tribe, and Bao Bao was in charge of attacking the Red Maple Human Clan. However, I thought about it earlier. If we attacked separately, we would not be able to gather our advantage. Regardless of which side we attacked, we would not be able to deal a fatal blow. Thus, I changed my mind and decided to gather our forces to attack the Red Maple Human Clan. After inflicting heavy damage to the Red Maple Human Clan, we will turn our spear and attack the barbarian tribe. However, the plan to attack the Red Maple Human Clan requires the participation of the elites of the Monkey Clan. After a moment of thinking, the Silver Monkey King nodded heavily. Good, it's a brilliant plan. We will attack from the front and back, and make the Red Maple Human Clan unable to defend themselves. Qin Wushuang laughed. That's what I meant. The Silver Monkey King said, Young Master Qin, the elites of our monkey race, other than 2 to 3 guards on the Monkey King Mountain, the rest are all here. If you like it, feel free to call the roll. Qin Wushuang said with a smile, This matter will require Your Majesty the Monkey King to personally decide. Wushuang only follows the Monkey Clan and does not dare to take the lead. The Silver Monkey King smiled and said, Young Master Qin has helped our monkey tribe time and time again. I really don't know how to repay this kindness. Qin Wushuang said, No need to be so courteous, Your Majesty. In the human countries, Bao Bao also helped me a lot. Now that I'm working hard for the monkey race, it's only right and proper. In addition, in this surprise attack, quality was more important than quantity. Please choose an elite warrior at the perfect stage. The Silver Monkey King nodded. My monkey clan has 2 great guardians and 2 grand elders. They are all at the perfect stage. Including me, there are 5 in total. However, there are 2 elders guarding the mountain. Qin Wushuang said, with the Monkey King personally taking action, he's as strong as 3. With the help of the 2 great guardians, it's like adding wings to a tiger. It's enough. The Silver Monkey King nodded. Okay, it's decided. Red Face Guardian, Black Leaf Guardian, you will come with me. The other elders will return to the Monkey King Mountain and listen to the orders of the 2 grand elders. If there is an unexpected attack, even if we have to give up the Monkey King Mountain temporarily, it's more important to protect the bloodline of the Monkey Clan. There was one advantage to the Monkey Clan, that was they could break up and scatter all the monkey disciples. Generally, the disciples of the Monkey Clan excelled at escaping. If they scattered and escaped, the enemy would not be able to catch them. Yes. Those elders all nodded in agreement. After bidding farewell to the Silver Monkey King, they returned to the Monkey King Mountain. Qin Wushuang said, Your Majesty, the Red Maple Human Clan is not far away. Along the way, for sure there will be scouts guarding the rear. Therefore, we can't go too close, but we also can't go too far. The most important thing is that we can't be discovered by their scout. The Silver Monkey King said, This is easy. I will take you guys and perform the supreme underground technique. I can guarantee that everyone can travel underground all day long. At any time, we will not be worried about being discovered. Qin Wushuang was overjoyed at the unexpected good news. Your Majesty, with such divine skill, the Red Maple Human Clan should be destroyed. The Silver Monkey King also laughed. This is young Master Qin's good plan. After he had finished speaking, suddenly, a wave of silver light flashed from the body of the Silver Monkey King. Instantly, his body became much bigger. He curled his two forearms and formed a circle. Young Master Qin, I'm sorry you guys have to hide under my arms. I will perform the underground technique now. Qin Wushuang and the purple flame electric beast had always been jealous of Bao Bao's underground technique. Now, seeing the Silver Monkey King's even more powerful underground technique, of course, they wanted to broaden their horizons. With a flash of silver light, the Silver Monkey King had already covered everyone inside the silver light. His body dashed forward and a ball of light drilled into the ground. Qin Wushuang only felt as if he was covered by a silver light. It was as if he was inside a giant crystal ball. He felt safe and comfortable inside it. When this crystal ball drilled into the ground, there was not the slightest trace on the surface. It did not even bring up a piece of dirt or grass. Such method made people gasp in amazement. Qin Wushuang only felt that this crystal ball was moving at a constant speed underground. It gave Qin Wushuang the feeling of a moving boat. This underground world was like a calm water surface. The speed of the moving boat was neither fast nor slow. Yet, it was steady and did not make one feel worried. After walking for half a day, suddenly, the voice of the Silver Monkey King emerged. Everyone, the powerhouse of the Red Maple Human Clan is less than 10 miles ahead. They have already started to set up camp. How about we also stop here for a while? Qin Wushuang asked. Your Majesty, how far is it from here to the headquarters of the Red Maple Human Clan? At most, we have covered 30% of the distance, the Silver Monkey King said. After a moment of consideration, Qin Wushuang said again, the Red Maple Human Clan has returned early. It will more or less affect Bao Bao's plan. If Bao Bao is going to set up an ambush, perhaps he will be close to the territory of the Red Maple Human Clan. According to my estimation, Bao Bao should have finished his attack on the headquarters of the Red Maple Human Clan. Now, it will depend on where he will set up the ambush, the Silver Monkey King said with a smile. Regardless of where it is, 70 to 80% of the main elite force of the Red Maple Human Clan have come out. Especially the top elite warriors, all of them have come out. Whether or not we can completely destroy the Red Maple Human Clan will depend on this battle. This time, the Red Maple Human Clan had set up camp and started their journey before the sun had risen. Apparently, Yi Wentong was also very concerned about the news from the barbarian tribe. He was extremely worried that the headquarters of the Red Maple Human Clan would also be ambushed. If the ancestral temple of the Red Group was destroyed, even if the entire Red Maple Human Clan were to die, they would not have the face to face their ancestors. Send the order to the vanguard team, ask them to speed up. Once again, the team set out. This time, they walked for an entire day. Yi Wentong finally ordered them to set up camp and rest in the evening. Currently, they were about 30 to 40% of the way to the Red Maple Human Clan. If they were to travel without stopping, they would certainly make it before noon tomorrow. However, in that case, it would be easy for the enemy to take advantage of them if they were to rush back in exhaustion. Thus, he decided to let the team rest for a few hours. They would resume their journey in the middle of the night. In that case, they could also make it back to the headquarters of the Red Maple Human Clan by tomorrow afternoon. As long as they could return to the headquarters safely, everything would be easy. After they had set up camp, Yi Wentong called the other 4 suzerains. Starting from the second suzerain, Zhang Qintong, the third and fourth suzerain were at the vanguard. The remaining 5 suzerains were at the second group. Thus, in Yi Wentong's main force, besides him, there were 4 other suzerains. Everyone, tonight is a special time. Whether or not the situation will change, everything will depend on tonight. After tonight, if nothing happens, most likely nothing will happen. Thus, tonight is extremely important. Order the vanguard team to set up camp 50 miles away from us. Don't rush in the dark. Yes. The 4 of you will have to work harder tonight. Patrol more and communicate with the vanguard team more diligently. Remember, don't stop the communication. Yi Wentong assigned task. Don't worry, Grand Suzerain. If the enemy knows what's good for them, they won't provoke our red maple human clan. If they don't, they will provoke us. We will make them regret it for the rest of their lives. Yi Wentong smiled bitterly in his heart, but on the surface, he nodded in agreement. During this critical period, morale was still very important. Since everyone's fighting spirit was so high, there was no need to worry about morale. However, Yi Wentong still had a vague feeling of worry in his heart. This kind of worry couldn't be described in detail, nor could he explain the reason. Intuitively, it was a feeling of uneasiness. This feeling of uneasiness intensified as the night came. No matter what, he knew that tonight would be a sleepless night. He had to be prepared to deal with any situation. Thinking of this, Yi Wentong ordered, "Pass down the order. Everyone is to be on full alert and be prepared to deal with any battle." Yes. The 4 suzerains stood up. Just as they were about to speak, hurried footsteps came from outside the tent. It was the sentry post that was used to communicate with the 2 groups. Grand Suzerain, the vanguard group was attacked. Before this sentry post left, the second one came. Grand Suzerain, the vanguard group was ambushed by a mysterious young man. That person's strength is godlike. The 3rd suzerain Ching Bo's head was chopped off by that person with a stick before he could fight. When the first news came, Yi Wentong wasn't surprised at all. It was as if everything was within his expectations. If the attack didn't happen, he would feel uneasy. Once it happened, he calmed down. However, when the second news came, he suddenly stood up. What? The 3rd suzerain's head was chopped off by a person with a stick? This news was too shocking. Even the other 4 suzerains' faces were filled with disbelief. They wondered if there was a mistake in the news. Report. The 3rd sentry post came with a report, rushing into the tent. Grand Suzerain, suzerains, the 4th suzerain Gong Sun Li's chest was bitten by a mysterious spiritual beast. Yi Wentong's expression changed. Everyone, get ready. Let's go and help him. The other 4 suzerains didn't dare to delay. They rushed out of the tent. Before the troops had time to rest and reorganize, they were ordered to set off. Yi Wentong said to the 4 suzerains, "The situation at the front is tense. The 5 of us will go there first." "All right." From underground, the Silver Monkey King said leisurely, "Yi Wentong's main force has set off again. For sure, the vanguard team has encountered an attack. It must be Bao Bao. Young Master Qin, let's go." Qin Wushuang smiled and said, "It's our turn now. Your Majesty Monkey King, you and the 2 protectors will be the first to charge at them. Loneliness and I launched a surprise attack in the dark. Use the graceful spiritual bow to kill them." "All right." The Silver Monkey King nodded in agreement. P.S. Old Cow is ashamed. Today there are 2 new alliance masters. Over the past few days, Old Cow has a feast for the eyes. Happiness has come too quickly. Thank you to all the guild masters, and thank you to all the warriors who have always supported Galaxy. Xing He, Official Group, 132424122. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 412. Yi Wentong and the 4 suzerains moved quickly. In just a moment they had traveled 30 to 40 miles. While they were rushing, Yi Wentong's expression suddenly changed. He stopped, waved his hand, and let out a low whistle vigilantly. When the other 4 suzerains heard this warning whistle, they all became nervous and stopped as well. At this time, a warning was definitely not a good sign. Yi Wentong made a hand gesture. The 4 suzerains stood beside Yi Wentong in a fan-shaped formation, forming a defensive circle that complemented each other. "Great Suzerain, what happened?" one of the suzerains asked in a low voice. Yi Wentong signaled them with his eyes. telling them to stay alert and not make any noise for the time being. At this moment, the soil in the periphery of the fan-shaped formation suddenly rushed up from the ground. Mud flew all over the sky, as if it was raining mud, falling down with a crash. A huge crater emerged from the bottom. A ball of silver light flashed, as if a bolt of lightning had flashed past. Bang! With a muffled sound, the body of a suzerain standing on the left suddenly flew out. That silver light rushed out and bounced back, crashing into the body of the second suzerain on the left. "Be careful!" Yi Wentong shouted. He waved the purple longsword in his hand, and his body followed, shooting toward that silver light. The longsword in his hand danced, twisting toward the silver light. That silver light was extremely fast, not giving Yi Wentong any chance to rush over. It drilled into the ground and once again disappeared into the ground. Yi Wentong took advantage of the opportunity to swing his sword down, chopping into the ground. With a rumbling sound, the ground was immediately split into two by this powerful sword, revealing a deep gully. "Great suzerain, old seven is dead." A suzerain held the suzerain who had just been shot out horizontally. Obviously, he was hit by that silver light, and all of its power had been completely hit. Immediately, his whole body was smashed into pieces. Yi Wentong glanced at it, but didn't have the heart to look anymore. Instead, he called out, "Everyone, don't be distracted. That's the old Silver Monkey King of the Monkey Clan." Silver Monkey King? The remaining 3 suzerains were all secretly shocked. Yi Wentong's face was also ashen. At this moment, he also knew that he might have fallen into some kind of trap. However, he couldn't tell exactly what kind of trap it was. He only felt that the events of the past few days were somewhat baffling. From the beginning to the end, he seemed to have been set up by someone. Every decision he made, every step he took, seemed to lead him deeper into the trap laid by the other party. "Silver Monkey King, since you are already here, why do you have to be so sneaky?" Yi Wentong yelled. "Others might be afraid of you, but why would I, Yi Wentong, be afraid of you?" "Humph." The Silver Monkey King's voice came from all directions. "Yi Wentong, my Monkey Clan and your Red Maple Human Clan didn't have any grudges. Why did you collude with the barbarian tribe to attack my Monkey King Mountain? Since you want to annihilate my Monkey King Mountain, why don't you give me a chance? Don't blame me for being impolite." Yi Wentong kept sneering. "What kind of ability is hiding?" The Silver Monkey King sneered. "It's easy to come out. Can you handle it?" As soon as the Silver Monkey King finished speaking, the surroundings became silent. Suddenly, there were a few whooshing sounds from the bushes in the south, and a figure jumped out from the ground. This figure was also from the Monkey Clan, but his face was glowing red, and his whole body was covered in red fur. It was the Red Face Guardian of the Monkey Clan. "Barbarian of the Red Maple Human Clan, are you here to fight with your Grandpa Red Face?" While the Red Face Guardian was shouting, another expert of the Monkey Clan jumped out from the bushes in front of them. It was the Black Leaf Guardian, and his whole body was covered in black hair that was like steel brushes. "Barbarian, your Grandpa Black Leaf wants your life." After the Black Leaf finished speaking, he waved the mace in his hand and smashed it down from the sky. The expert of the Monkey Clan was very agile in his jumping ability. With one jump, he was already 10 zhang away from Yi Wentong, and smashed down with his mace. The thorns on the mace rolled up, shooting out tens of thousands of rays of light, like pear blossom needles, flying down. "Great suzerain, I will go and fight with this stinky monkey." The 6th suzerain jumped out, and with a sweep of his chi mei rod, he was going to fight with the Black Leaf Guardian. "I will deal with that stinky monkey with a red butt." The 8th suzerain also waved his battle blade, and rushed toward the Red Face Guardian. Yi Wentong stared at the ground without blinking. He was paying attention to any trace of movements underground. He knew that these 2 guardians were not the key. The key was the Silver Monkey King hiding underground. This Silver Monkey King was publicly recognized as the strongest warrior among all the perfect stage warriors in the dispersed Praying Mountain. Even Yi Wentong, an elite warrior with half a foot in the void martial stage and about to break through, knew that he could not win against that Silver Monkey King. Yi Wentong said to the fifth suzerain in a low voice, "Fifth, watch carefully. Between the two of them, whoever is at a disadvantage, you will go and support him at full speed. Do your best and take out one of them. I will fight with that Silver Monkey King." Among all the suzerains of the Red Maple Human clan, only Yi Wentong and the Silver Monkey King were qualified to fight. In fact, Yi Wentong was also burning with anxiety. However, being the spiritual core of the Red Maple Human clan, he could not show it despite feeling panic. Since the front line was busy, 2 of the 3 suzerains had been ambushed. The aggressiveness of the other party had almost made the Red Maple Human clan unable to withstand it. He had never felt that it was so difficult to travel a mere 50 miles. The 2 groups could not meet up successfully. Currently, he was more worried about the vanguard group. Qing Bo, the 3rd suzerain, and Gong Sunli, the 4th suzerain, had been killed without even fighting. The aggressiveness of the enemy made Yi Wentong feel deeply uneasy. Could Zhang Tongtong, the 2nd suzerain, hold on? And if their second main force could not break through this obstacle, how could they meet up with Zhang Tongtong? When he thought here, Yi Wentong shouted, "Finish it quickly, don't linger." As he spoke, he activated the purple long sword in his hand and shot a glance at the 5th suzerain. Then, one on the left and one on the right, he attacked the 2 monkey guardians. With an evil grin, the Silver Monkey King suddenly rushed out from the underground. He swung the giant stick in a circle and smashed it at Yi Wentong. The momentum of this stick was grand. As soon as it smashed down, the entire sky was filled with the shadow of this stick. It had intimidated the entire space and caused it to tremble. Yi Wentong shouted, "Good move!" As the purple long sword slashed continuously, his body also went up to the sky. He did not hold back and slashed 3 sword moves at the Silver Monkey King. Indeed, this man and monkey were the strongest existences in the dispersed Praying Mountain. As soon as they started to fight, they turned into 2 shadows and danced in the sky. One could not see their movements clearly. The speed of the fight became faster and faster. In a moment, it seemed as if 2 rays of light had twisted together and one could not tell them apart. That 5th suzerain attacked the Red Face Guardian with a fast speed. At this moment, suddenly, a wave of strong wind blew from the side. All of a sudden, a ball of red light rushed over. The momentum of this charge was like a scalding fireball that had drilled out of the void out of thin air. However, this speed was faster than anything. Boom! The 5th suzerain was frightened out of his wit. He had never expected such an attack from the side. Moreover, the strength of the attack was something he had never encountered before in his entire life. Get lost! The 5th suzerain knew that he could not avoid it. He swung the long spear in his hand and swept it across. However, this sweep was exactly what the purple flame electric beast wanted. The power of this attack was boundless. He was afraid that the other party could dodge it and not take it head-on. When he saw the 5th suzerain waving the long spear at him, the purple flame electric beast rushed over even more urgently. Instantly, that spear was pushed inwards by the power of this fireball. Instantly, the handle of the spear turned into a half-moon shape and turned into a bow that had been folded back. The 5th suzerain shouted, "Rise!" He pushed with both arms and wanted to use this wave of qi to deflect this fireball. Inwardly, the 5th suzerain cursed when he initiated the power of this deflection. It was because he realized that when he initiated his spiritual qi, it was like a stone sinking into the sea. There was no response. The power of this push had bounced back after it had collided with an even more powerful force. It had pushed his feet back continuously. As if there were pulleys under his feet, he retreated at a rapid speed. Under the impact of this wave of power, the fifth suzerain had retreated 20 meters. However, he still could not alleviate this powerful impact. However, he had no other choice. Besides retreating, there was no better choice. He could either retreat or take it head-on. Just now, when he pushed with both arms, he had already tested the power of his opponent's charge. It had far surpassed his pushing force. Especially now, when his opponent's momentum was even more powerful and he was retreating step by step. If he were to forcefully charge, he would be going against himself. It was very likely that he would end up with his bones and tendons broken. Just as he was retreating, the fifth suzerain's body suddenly froze. His pupils suddenly bulged and almost popped out of his eye socket. With a poochie sound, a spear with Xian Kong Xian behind him was almost facing his back. Xian Kong Xian didn't push it forward and just let it go. The fifth suzerain's retreating speed was too fast. When he realized the danger, the long spear had already pierced through his back and came out from his chest. Qin Wushuang stood behind the tree and shook the long spear. Fresh blood flowed down along the blood groove of the long spear. The fifth suzerain's eyes were filled with disbelief. He strenuously turned his head to take a look. His mouth opened, but he couldn't say anything. This spear had directly pierced through his dantian and qi palace, protecting him on the spot. Instantly, the spiritual qi from his body dispersed in all directions. Qin Wushuang followed his ancestral spear and initiated the power of Deep North. He kept absorbing the spiritual qi that had leaked out into his dantian. After absorbing Zhuotianxi's spiritual qi, Qin Wushuang was no longer as eager to absorb the spiritual qi from an elite warrior at the perfect stage as before. Only, after all, it was still at the perfect stage. Absorbing one would more or less help him enter the void martial stage. Instantly, this absorption had filled his dantian. In fact, he had already walked 50 to 60% of the way to the perfect stage. Now, with the pure spiritual qi from a perfect stage, although he had not absorbed it completely and had not merged it completely, it had increased his journey by another 10 to 20%. It had allowed him to sprint a lot more on the path to the perfect stage. As long as he could merge these spiritual qi, he would have 70 to 80% of the way to the void martial stage. However, he did not have the time to merge them. He needed to consolidate the battle situation before him. To be continued. If you want to know what will happen next, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 413. Lone, follow the plan. A moment ago, Qin Wushuang's spear attack was extremely sudden, and he did not expose himself. The purple flame electric beast laughed mischievously and flipped his body in the air. He cried out, "Boss, don't fight with me for the next one." Qin Wushuang smiled lightly and made a hand gesture to show his approval. The purple flame electric beast was overjoyed. His huge body suddenly landed on the ground and crawled on the ground. With a stomp of his hind legs, he turned into a flash of lightning and dashed towards the sixth suzerain who was fighting with the Black Leaf Protector. He opened his mouth, and a string of genuine fire shot out from his mouth. Whoosh! Instantly, half of the sky was dyed red by the rising flame. The power of this genuine fire was extremely tyrannical. Before it had reached him, it was already like boiling water and almost caused the sky to boil. That sixth suzerain only felt a wave of heat coming from his back. Without thinking, he fled to the side. The purple flame electric beast sneered and exhaled again. That fire surged even more violently and chased after the sixth suzerain like a wall of fire. Although the sixth suzerain was panicking, he was after all an elite warrior at the perfect stage. He urged a wave of blue light from his hand, and that light immediately shot out and wrapped around his entire body. Like a crystal ball, it protected his entire body. It was the power of this protection that had allowed that flame to reach him. No matter how hard he tried, he was unable to burn through the blue halo. The sixth suzerain waved the chi mei stick and turned around abruptly. He extended his arm, and that stick seemed to have grown and smashed at the nose of the purple flame electric beast. The purple flame electric beast was enraged. I closed my mouth and stopped blowing the fire. Instead, he grabbed that chi mei stick with both of his claws. He rubbed his claws and was about to twist this stick into a fried dough twist. Unexpectedly, under this rubbing, that chi mei stick was extremely firm and did not change its shape at all. Furious, the purple flame electric beast rolled his body in the air and shrunk into a ball. Then, he turned into a wave of red light and crashed towards that blue light. This collision was almost the same as the previous attack. However, it was much more powerful than before. However, to the sixth suzerain, it was actually much easier to deal with compared to the fifth suzerain. Compared to before, after dodging the first sneak attack, he had sufficient time to react. It was completely different from the situation where the fifth suzerain was caught off guard. However, his blue halo was a water-pattern talisman. It could only have a defensive effect against fire attribute attacks. It did not have much of a defensive effect against this kind of attack that completely relied on brute force. Just as he was about to turn around, a powerful gust of wind suddenly attacked him from behind. It was the Blackleaf Protector who was swinging his spiked club from behind. This smash was fierce and fast. Rumble! The defense of the water-striped talisman was blasted by this strike of pure strength, and it instantly transformed into circle after circle of shattered ripples that spread out without end. In a short moment it collapsed. Just at this moment, the purple flame electric beast's attack also came from the front. The sixth suzerain was shaken by the wolf-tooth mace's astral wind, and his body involuntarily rushed forward. This surge just happened to rush towards the direction of the purple flame electric beast. When the purple flame electric beast was flying at a high speed, he maintained a very good balance. Suddenly, he extended both of his claws and grabbed the shoulders of the sixth suzerain. Then, he shouted, "Open!" With a tearing sound like silk, before the sixth suzerain could react, his entire body was torn into two pieces like a piece of cloth. This tearing power had condensed the essence of the purple flame electric beast's sure-win method. Even for a perfect stage warrior, once they fell into his claws, they would only have one ending, and that was to be torn apart. Even the Blackleaf Protector of the monkey tribe could not help but shiver when he saw the miserable sight on the ground. This scene was a little too bloody. The purple flame electric beast twitched his mouth into a smile. "Black monkey, don't be scared. We are on the same side, I am not going to tear you apart." The Blackleaf Protector knew that this guy was on good terms with Bao Bao and did not mind. He blinked his eyes kindly at the purple flame electric beast. Then, he scuttled his body and rushed towards his friend, the red-faced Protector. Qin Wushuang called out, "Lone, go to the front and help Bao Bao." The purple flame electric beast said, "Roger." With the graceful spiritual bow in his hand, Qin Wushuang observed the situation around him with an alert expression. Indeed, this sneak attack was extremely successful. In a moment, they had taken out the 3 suzerains of the Red Maple Human clan. Currently, only Yi Wentong and the other 8th suzerain remained. Although Yi Wentong could still hold on when the Silver Monkey King greeted him personally, he did not have the upper hand. Instead, he was forced to defend by the powerful attacks of the Silver Monkey King and could not spare any time to attack. And that 8th suzerain did not gain the slightest advantage when he was attacked by the 2 protectors of the Monkey Clan. He was only forced to retreat in defeat. Qin Wushuang locked onto that Yi Wentong from afar with the graceful spiritual bow. He would not leave the battlefield 60 meters away. At this distance, with Qin Wushuang's current familiarity and rapport with the graceful spiritual bow, plus his own strength, It would not be a problem to kill this Yi Wentong within 3 arrows. For your information, the power of this graceful spiritual bow had been proven through many battles. Currently, Qin Wushuang had entered the perfect stage and had a better rapport with the graceful spiritual bow. Naturally, the power of the bow would rise with the tide. Initially, he, Bao Bao and the purple flame electric beast had used the graceful spiritual bow to kill Zhuo Tianxi, who was at the void martial stage. At that time, Qin Wushuang was only at the advanced stage. Currently, compared to when he had killed Zhuo Tianxi, Qin Wushuang's strength had increased tremendously. He had also become more mature in all aspects. How could he fail when dealing with Yi Wentong, who was not as powerful as Zhuo Tianxi? Only, currently, the Silver Monkey King was engaged in an intense battle with that Yi Wentong. Their speed was extremely fast, and the 2 balls of lights had rolled together. If the arrows were too fast, he was afraid that he would accidentally injure the Silver Monkey King. If he were to shoot, he must wait until the battle was separated and there was enough space to shoot. Or else, if he were to shoot recklessly, with the power of the graceful spiritual bow, the possibility of accidentally injuring someone was high. While they were engaged in an intense battle, the 2 guardians of the Monkey Clan attacked from the left and right. However, they had forced that 8th suzerain to complain, "Grand Suzerain, retreat! Go!" Apparently, that 8th suzerain had realized that the general situation was set. For sure, the Red Maple Human Clan would suffer a crushing defeat. The most urgent matter was to protect their leader, the Grand Suzerain. Perhaps in the future, he could lead the Red Maple Human Clan to rise again. Yi Wentong had focused all of his attention on the battle with the Silver Monkey King and did not have the time to pay attention to the outside world. Hearing the roar from the 8th suzerain, his mind was shaken. Instantly, he loosened his sword technique. The Silver Monkey King urged his giant stick and raised a wave of astonishing temperament to smash directly at Yi Wentong's chest. Yi Wentong blocked with the purple long sword in front of his chest and used the momentum to retreat rapidly. He glanced at the battlefield outside and saw the bodies of the other suzerains littered the ground. Besides the 7th suzerain who had been ambushed in the first move, 5th and 6th had all died on the spot. For the first time, a shocked expression appeared on Yi Wentong's face. Suddenly, he glanced forward from the corner of his eyes. A sense of crisis immediately welled up in his heart. Before he could even see the position of Qin Wushuang, the instinct of a powerful warrior had already made him feel an unprecedented sense of crisis. With a loud shout, he rolled his body and was about to escape. However, Qin Wushuang's graceful spiritual bow had already locked down the entire situation at the scene. Since Yi Wentong had escaped and distanced himself from the Silver Monkey King, he activated the graceful spiritual bow at almost the same time. 1 arrow, 2 arrows, Qin Wushuang shot 2 arrows at the same time. One was fast and the other was slow. However, his strength was skillful and natural. He shot the arrows toward Yi Wentong. Subconsciously, Yi Wentong wanted to wave his sword to block. Suddenly, he remembered a name, Qin Wushuang. As soon as he thought of Qin Wushuang, he immediately recalled the name Qin Wushuang and the mystical bow and arrow that were closely related. As soon as he thought of this, Yi Wentong was frightened out of his wits. He screamed and jumped to the side. However, once the arrow was formed, no matter how fast his reaction was, it was impossible for him to be faster than the speed of the arrow. Boom! The green light pierced through Yi Wentong's chest and hit him directly. Immediately after, the second arrow quickly arrived and followed the momentum of the first arrow, rushing forward. Whoosh! The green light pierced through Yi Wentong's chest. Yi Wentong didn't even have the chance to scream before he was knocked down to the ground by the impact of the arrow. Blood gushed out like a fountain. Seeing this, the Silver Monkey King was overjoyed. "Young Master Qin, your archery skills have improved a lot." Seeing the 2 guardians still attacking the 8th suzerain from the corner of his eyes, A trace of fierceness flashed through the Silver Monkey King's eyes. He rolled his big stick and sent it flying in the air. As if it was given life, the big stick flew in the air and hammered toward the back of the 8th suzerain's head. This stick arrived in the air, and didn't give anyone time to react. As soon as the stick came down, the 8th suzerain's body softened and turned into a pile of minced meat. Qin Wushuang scuttled to the front of Yi Wentong and retrieved the 2 jade-green arrows. He lifted Yi Wentong's body and initiated the power of Deep North. He said, "Silver Monkey King, you guys go support Bao Bao quickly, I will cover your retreat." The Silver Monkey King did not hesitate. "Thank you, young Master Qin." After saying that, he called out to the 2 protectors and charged forward quickly. Qin Wushuang carried Yi Wentong's body in his hand and jumped onto a tall tree on the side. After he initiated the power of Deep North, in a moment, he had absorbed all the spiritual qi emitted by Yi Wentong into his dantian. After absorbing twice, Qin Wushuang's dantian had become much more enriched. Qin Wushuang was not in a rush to absorb these spiritual qi. Instead, he rolled the Fury Dragon Soul and hung Yi Wentong's body high above the branches. At this moment, the second main force of the Red Maple Human clan had arrived. Besides the 8 suzerains, the Red Maple Human clan still had some elite warriors. However, they were all at the advanced stage. At this moment, they were nothing in Qin Wushuang's eyes. Before those people had arrived, each of them could not believe their eyes when they saw Yi Wentong's body hanging shakily on the branches. Was that the great suzerain Yi Wentong? He was the spiritual core of the Red Maple Human clan, the absolute pillar. How could he have died here in the time it took to brew a cup of tea? Great suzerain! No. This is impossible. Those elders of the Red Maple Human clan all rushed over. When they had rushed closer, they discovered Qin Wushuang, who was half hiding his body in the bushes. Each of them stopped their footsteps. Their eyes were filled with anger and confusion as they looked at Qin Wushuang on the tree. Apparently, he also could not believe that the great suzerain had died in the hands of this young man. Red Maple Human clan, you did not abide by your duties and have wild ambitions. Now all the 8 suzerains have been killed. Why are you still not surrendering? What are you waiting for? Qin Wushuang let out a short shout that was filled with awe-inspiring divine power. It caused the entire body of those elders to tremble. To be continued. If you want to know what happened next, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 4:14. The Red Maple Human clan was not a native clan of the dispersed Praying Mountain. They were also not a clan with a fixed surname. The Red Maple Human clan was governed by 8 suzerains, and these 8 suzerains controlled all the benefits of the Red Maple Human clan. It was rumored that the ancestors of these 8 suzerains had migrated to this place thousands of years ago. Earlier, their ancestors had fled from other forbidden spiritual zones to this place. When they had just arrived, they were called the 8 Great Bandits. Those 8 people possessed exceptional strength and had taken over a part of the dispersed Praying Mountain. They had gathered all the elite warriors and settled down here. After thousands of years of development, they had formed the scale of the Red Maple Human clan. And since their ancestors, those 8 Great Bandits had excelled in using formations. Thus, each generation of Red Maple Human clan suzerains had inherited the methods of their ancestors. They had relied on this inheritance of formations to gain a foothold in the dispersed Praying Mountain. Now, with the fall of the 8 suzerains, the Red Maple Human clan had lost their spiritual core. More than half of those elders did not come from the families of the 8 suzerains. Thus, after hearing Qin Wushuang's shout, they had lost some of their spirit and started to think of other ideas. And those elders that belonged to the 8 suzerains all shouted with bloodshot eyes, "Everyone, let's go together and kill this damn kid." One of the elders of the Yi bloodline had a high position. He waved the weapon in his hand and roared, If you are a man, come with me. Kill him. The corner of Qin Wushuang's mouth twitched and suddenly, the Fury Dragon soul shook. The long whip seemed to be able to perform a magic trick. It suddenly extended and lashed directly at the elder. This whip was like a thunderbolt on a sunny day. It came with a sudden momentum and caught people off guard. In a flash, it had arrived before that elder of the Yi clan. Here! Qin Wushuang gave a low shout and lifted his arm to tie that elder to the Fury Dragon soul. Are you going to kill me? Or should I kill you? Qin Wushuang asked lightly. He raised his palm and shot out a wave of red light that hit the center of that person's forehead. With a pop sound, that elder of the Yi clan tilted his head and Qin Wushuang took his life. Qin Wushuang's intimidation was more persuasive than any words. The Fury Flood Dragon's soul in his hand shook slightly as he roared, "Those who surrender will live, those who resist will die. Ha ha ha, those who surrender will live, those who resist will die." From afar, a long whistle emerged. It was Bao Bao's voice as he yelled from afar, "Boss, good strategy, ha ha. The Red Maple Human Clan is screwed." With a flash of golden light, Bao Bao scuttled before him. Yet, he had regained the appearance of a young man. He still held a giant stick in his hand and had traces of battle on his body. "Bao Bao, what's the situation over there?" Qin Wushuang asked. "I killed 2 of them." The Silver Monkey King rushed over and killed the last of the stubborn second leader, Zhang Qintong. "The 8 lords have all been eliminated." Bao Bao licked his lips and looked at those elders of the Red Maple Human Clan with flickering eyes. "Boss, could it be these guys still want to resist?" Qin Wushuang laughed. "The main evildoer has been killed. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. These people no longer have any fighting spirit. Besides the trusted aides of the 8 lords, those who are willing to surrender, let them live." Bao Bao laughed. "Boss, what 8 lords? They are just the descendants of the 8 great bandits." After he had finished speaking, he shouted, "Listen well, all the descendants of the 8 great bandits must die. As for the other elders with the foreign surname, as long as they surrender, they will not be killed. You will testify against each other." This move was extremely vicious. As soon as he said it, he had instantly divided these elite warriors of the Red Maple Human Clan into 2 groups. Among them, more than half of the elite warriors with the foreign surname had stepped out and formed another group. This way, it was clear who were the direct descendants of the 8 great bandits and those with the foreign surname. This time, the elite warriors sent by the Red Maple Human Clan were all elite. Although there were only a few hundred of them, each of them were at the upper sky spiritual martial force. Currently, the 100 or 200 people of the Vanguard group had been almost wiped out by the Silver Monkey King. And among the 200 or 300 people here, after dividing into 2 groups, more than 100 of them were direct descendants of the 8 great bandits. However, Bao Bao laughed coldly. "Very good, a wise man submits to circumstances. All of you with the foreign surname must watch carefully. Don't let the descendants of the 8 great bandits sneak into your group. If a fish escapes the net and a descendant of the 8 great bandits sneaks in, all of you will be buried with them. Thus, you must investigate carefully. If you find anyone who has sneaked into your group, you must report them immediately." Qin Wushuang was somewhat surprised when he saw Bao Bao's exceptional methods. When Bao Bao saw Qin Wushuang looking at him this way, he could not help but laugh. "Boss, don't look at me, the Silver Monkey King taught me this. That's what he's doing over there." While he was talking, the Silver Monkey King had already walked over with a few dozen captives. The Vanguard group had been completely wiped out. The Silver Monkey King and those 2 great guardians were brimming with joyful smiles. Apparently, they were extremely satisfied with the result of this battle. The Silver Monkey King said to that group of captives, "You elite warriors with the foreign surname, gather together. Supervise each other, welcome to report." The disciples with the foreign surname from both sides gathered together. On the other hand, Each of the direct descendants of the 8 great suzerain had an ashen complexion. Some were cursing in a whisper, some had an ashen complexion. Apparently, each of them knew their fate. Kill! Kill, kill! Following the Silver Monkey King's emotionless order, the 2 great guardians, the Silver Monkey King, and Bao Bao all made their moves. Although there were only 4 of them, one was at the Void Martial stage, one was at the peak of the Perfect stage, and the other 2 were also at the Perfect stage. For such powerhouses, it was as easy as flipping one's hand to kill these ordinary upper sky warriors. Besides a few elite warriors at the advanced stage who could put up some resistance, the other direct disciples were as easy as harvesting wheat with a sickle. Each time they slashed, a group of people would fall. Qin Wushuang and the Purple Flame Electric Beast did not make a move. Instead, they watched quietly. If it were the previous Qin Wushuang, he would more or less have some compassion. However, through these years of battles and experience, he had completely merged with the rules of the Tianxian land. The competition here was like this: either you die or I die. If today's victory was the Red Maple Human Clan and the Barbarian Tribe, then the ones being slaughtered would be the Monkey Clan. There was no distinction between good and evil, it was just a simple rule. "Boss, what are you thinking about?" the Purple Flame Electric Beast asked with a mischievous laugh. "Nothing." Qin Wushuang smiled lightly. "Impossible, I see that you are lost in thought. Could it be that you feel the slaughter is too bloody?" Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. This is the price they pay for their greed. It's the cycle of the rules. However, outside the rules, after all, they are all living beings. It's normal to feel emotional, right? The Purple Flame Electric Beast laughed. "You humans are like this. You kill more viciously than anyone else. Yet, after you kill, you have all these messy emotions. Us beast clans are more straightforward." While they spoke, the Monkey Clan had already finished the slaughter. With a profound gaze, the Silver Monkey King said with a deep tone, "Next target, the Barbarian Tribe. In for a penny, in for a pound." From today, the old structure of the dispersed Praying Mountain would be completely overturned. The Silver Monkey King said loudly, "All of you listen well. Attacking the Barbarian Tribe is your best chance to redeem yourself. If you can kill one elite warrior of the Barbarian Tribe, you can redeem your life. From then on, I will set you free. However, there is one thing: you must leave the dispersed Praying Mountain. If you take another step into the dispersed Praying Mountain, only death awaits you." Those elite warriors with the foreign surname knew that it would not be easy to live. Of course, they would not object when they heard that they could redeem their life by killing one person when attacking the Barbarian Tribe. They were not willing to become cannon fodder. However, they had absolute confidence that they could only kill one person in exchange for their life. Instantly, they roared in unison, "Okay! The Monkey Clan means what we say, don't worry about going back on our word." For this matter, if your 2 clans had not gone too far, the Monkey Clan would not have made a move against you. Thus, you brought all of this upon yourselves. Now, it's time for you to redeem your mistakes. Okay. When the Silver Monkey King saw that these remaining powerhouses of the Red Maple Human Clan did not show any dissatisfaction or resistance, he struck while the iron was hot and said, "There is no time to lose, let's go now." Following the destruction of the Red Maple Human Clan, the outcome of this internal conflict in the dispersed Praying Mountain had been determined. When the Barbarian Tribe returned to the Barbarian Tribe in a hurry, before they could establish a foothold, a large group of elite warriors of the Monkey Clan had arrived. With the Silver Monkey King and Bao Bao as the leader and Qin Wushuang as support, the beheading operation went smoothly. Once the 5 tribal chiefs of the Barbarian Tribe had been killed, the Barbarian Tribe also fell apart. The Monkey Clan had forced them to throw away their helmets and armor. For this battle, the Monkey Clan had obtained a complete victory. They had killed all the core members of the Barbarian Tribe and at the same time, reduced the Barbarian Tribe to a slave tribe. From then on, they would not have any status in the dispersed praying mountain. For the Red Maple human clan, among the direct descendants of the 8 great bandits, it was hard to find 1 in 100 who had escaped with their lives. Instantly, the entire dispersed praying mountain had fallen into the hands of the Monkey clan. And those elite warriors of the Red Maple human clan with the foreign surname were also valiant and courageous in order to save their lives. They had played a significant role in annihilating the barbarian tribe. Of course, some of them had died. However, most of them had lost their lives in this one-sided battle. The Silver Monkey King did not intend to kill them all. He gathered everyone and said, "The Monkey clan will not break our promise and will let you go now. From now on, you are not allowed to take half a step into this dispersed praying mountain." Initially, these elite warriors with the foreign surname were worried about personal gains and losses. Hearing the words of the Silver Monkey King, each of them felt deeply grateful and expressed their stance. "Thank you, Silver Monkey King, for not killing us. We will leave the dispersed praying mountain for sure and will never step in again." Suddenly, Qin Wushuang said, "Hold on." Those elite warriors with the foreign surname had all witnessed Qin Wushuang's methods. In these days, they had also heard about many of Qin Wushuang's heroic deeds. They knew that the strongest warrior of the Red Maple human clan, Yi Wentong, had been killed by this young man. Thus, they were full of reverence toward Qin Wushuang. Hearing him speak, these people's hearts were beating like drums as each of them stopped their footstep. They thought that the situation had changed again, and their expression became even more unnatural. At this moment, their fate was not in their hands. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 4:15. What are your plans for this trip? Qin Wushuang asked with an indifferent expression. Don't stutter, a real man should speak straightforwardly. Do you plan to go to the Xianyuan Mound? Qin Wushuang asked. Those people all shook their heads. They could not even make a name for themselves at the dispersed praying mountain. Most likely, they would not have a place in the Xianyuan Mound. To the human countries? Qin Wushuang asked again. However, Bao Bao laughed. Boss, it would be nice if they go to the human countries. Qin Wushuang nodded and sent his voice to the Silver Monkey King. Your Majesty, I have a presumptuous request. Let these people stay at the Monkey King Mountain for a few days. I want to observe them. Stunned, the Silver Monkey King immediately understood as he nodded. Young Master Qin, these people are also restless when they rush to the human countries. Then let them stay at the Monkey King Mountain for a while and let them go in groups. How about it? Qin Wushuang said with a smile. I will listen to your arrangements. Hearing the instructions of the Silver Monkey King, these elite warriors with the foreign surname became gloomy again. Among them, those who had a straightforward personality had an ugly expression. Finally, someone could not help but ask, Your Majesty, you promised to let us go. Now you are keeping us. What are your plans? The Silver Monkey King laughed leisurely. I said I would let you go, and I will not go back on my words. What, are you impatient? That person said unhappily. I heard that the Silver Monkey King is a senior of virtue and prestige in the dispersed praying mountain. If it weren't for the fact that the 8 suzerains of the Red Maple human clan were not popular and had done many evil deeds in the dark, how could we have changed sides at the last moment? Now, if you cannot fulfill your promise, how are you different from those 8 great bandits? The Silver Monkey King and Qin Wushuang looked at each other. Both of them carried a smile and did not get angry. However, Bao Bao said, What is your name? Humph, my name is Lindian. Since we are in your hands, if you don't let us go, then let us die. Finally, this Lindian could not hold himself back after enduring for so long. Lindian wasn't the only impatient one here. Hearing him shout like this, the other people also shouted one after another. That's right, that's right. If you want to kill him, then do it. Even if I can't beat you, I can't let you fool me. If you want to kill me, then kill me. What kind of trick is this? Each and every one of them was filled with righteous indignation. Clearly, they were also enraged. The Silver Monkey King ignored all of them. He smiled faintly, waved his hand and ordered, "Take them away. Whoever resists, let them suffer a little. Don't kill them." Since Qin Wushuang had the intention to choose someone, the Silver Monkey King was naturally happy to do this favor. If not for Qin Wushuang's plan, the fate of the monkey tribe would have been the fate of the barbarian tribe and the 8 great bandits of Red Maple. The monkey tribe was a tribe that knew how to be grateful. Therefore, the Silver Monkey King tried his best to facilitate this favor. The foreign experts had no choice but to follow the monkeys up the mountain. When they returned to the Monkey King Mountain, of course, the entire monkey tribe was deeply grateful to Qin Wushuang. Elite warriors of the monkey tribe kept coming to give Qin Wushuang gifts to express their gratitude. On the other hand, Qin Wushuang found a quiet hillside at the Phoenix Return Mountain and started to train in isolation. Although this battle could not help him break through to the perfect stage, it had helped him a lot in his training. After absorbing the spiritual qi of 2 perfect stage warriors, the spiritual qi inside Qin Wushuang's body had clearly become much more abundant. After spending 3 days to merge with these spiritual qi, instantly, Qin Wushuang felt that the life force in his dantian had become much more vigorous. It was as if his entire body had endless power. Qin Wushuang gave a light whistle and raised his spear. With a rumbling sound, Qin Wushuang's spear moved and brought up a wave of spiraling airflow. Qin Wushuang extended his hands and shot out another spear. Instantly, it was as if he had opened up a piece of white paper. The brush and ink galloped freely on it. It was extremely comfortable and natural. Ever since I was reborn into this world, I have always used the classic martial arts techniques from my previous world. However, to become a grandmaster, I cannot always rely on the legacy left behind by the predecessors. I must create some moves myself and spread the name of Qin Wushuang across the Tianxian land. My descendants will remember it. When Qin Wushuang thought here, his spear moves became even more smooth and unstoppable. Each time he shot out the spear, it seemed as if there were a few thousand thoughts rushing out from his chest. For a time, the spear danced like a silver snake dancing and a dragon flying in the sky with a majestic temperament. Looking at those classic martial arts techniques from my previous world, they all had one characteristic. They combined their physical body with the natural world to a perfect state. They communicated with the heaven and earth and created their own move. For all the moves, the physical body is only their carrier. The source is between heaven and earth. Qin Wushuang immersed himself wholeheartedly in this wave of comprehension. The spear moves in his hand were either fast or slow, fast or slow. It was not only controlled by his body, but more of his thoughts had merged into this state between the heaven and earth. A human's body is like a small world. A human's thoughts are like colors, embellishing this small world. Between heaven and earth, it is a big world. Only by completely integrating the small world of a human's body into the big world can the Tao be expected and the realm be higher. Thoughts came one after another. Qin Wushuang's spear moves also changed continuously. This spear only seeks the original self and awakens the original heart. It is called awakening move. Then, the spear's momentum changed. The tip of the spear trembled and a flame was pulled out from the tip of the spear. With a walla, it burned into a perfect arc. This spear, outside of the original self, communicates with the natural fire attribute of heaven and earth. This attack, with the natural attribute as the foundation, can be called the congregated nucleus move. This congregated nucleus move includes any of the natural attributes in heaven and earth. As long as the original body possesses the talent of this attribute, it can be communicated. Thus, this congregated nucleus move can transform into many different attribute attack. As for the exact transformation, it will depend on the battle situation. While Qin Wushuang thought, he waved the ancestral spear with even more vigor. One person and one spear, a wave of genuine qi kept emitting and spreading to the sky. Just when Qin Wushuang was absorbed in his practice, suddenly, a figure flashed out from the clouds in the middle of the sky. This person was dressed in clothes whiter than snow. He appeared to have a head of white hair. However, his face and the skin of his entire body were as soft as a baby's. Among his facial features, there was a special temperament that made people feel that this person was not ordinary. This person hid his body among the clouds and was able to merge his body with the clouds. Like a cloud floating in the sky, one could not see his body flying. For sure, if people from the dispersed praying mountain or the human countries saw such divine skill, they would be astonished. This person was flying in the sky. Apparently, he had sensed a wave of strange airflow from the ground and rushed up to the clouds. Although this wave of airflow was insignificant in his eyes, vividly, there were some familiar things inside this airflow. It made him, a hidden elite warrior, could not help but stick his head out to take a look. When he looked down, he saw a young man waving the giant spear on the slope. Like a dragon or a snake dancing, his temperament was extraordinary. If it was just his temperament, it would not have startled this guest in the clouds. Only the artistic conception within each spear move made this guest in the clouds feel astonished. This young man's spear moves have such artistic conception? Looking at his current situation, it seems he is creating his own move. This is rare. That spear. When this guest in the clouds saw Qin Wushuang's spear, suddenly, a trace of astonishment flashed across his eyes. Such a familiar spear, could it be? When he thought here, this guest in the clouds rolled his body and merged with the sky. His body dropped down from the clouds. In a flash, he dropped to the slope. When this person dropped to the ground, he was silent and formless. Like a snowflake falling to the ground, it melted as soon as it touched the ground and did not stir up any dust. Qin Wushuang only focused on practicing his spear moves and did not realize that someone had arrived before him. This third spear move merged with the natural attributes of heaven and earth to form a mysterious attack. It's the sublimation of the congregated nucleus move. It can be named deep nucleus move. Qin Wushuang gave a light sigh. Suddenly, he pulled back his spear halfway. In the end, this deep nucleus move demands too much from the user. Although I am at the perfect stage, to use this deep nucleus move, I need to be at a higher stage. Perhaps, when I enter the void martial stage, it will be the day I create the perfect deep nucleus move. Qin Wushuang was not in a rush for success. He slowly withdrew his qi and stopped the spear move. He shook that long spear and mumbled to himself with a smile. Buddy, the ancestors left you to accompany me and bid farewell to your hundreds of years of loneliness. Now, it seems that this spear left by the ancestors is a great spear. Haha, of course it's a great spear. The hegemon breaking formation spear of the Qin clan is one of the top 10 treasures in the Qin weapon manual. How could it not be good? This voice was flat and indifferent, with a hint of otherworldly feeling, as if it came from another world. Who is it? Immediately, Qin Wushuang's entire body became alert. He held the long spear horizontally and used his spiritual perception to search. 3 meters, 15 meters, 10 meters, Qin Wushuang's search circle kept expanding. Yet, he found nothing. Young man, are you looking for me? This voice seemed to be right in front of him, and within 3 meters of him. Shocked, Qin Wushuang swept with the long spear and circled around abruptly. However, when he swept his gaze, there was nothing at all. Ha ha, young man, don't be impatient. This voice slowly emerged from behind Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang turned around abruptly and an unbelievable scene happened. Above the slope, in the middle of the sky, circles of water ripples kept rippling in the air as if they were transparent. The ripples kept changing, becoming clearer and clearer. In the midst of this slow change, finally, a faint human figure appeared. And that human figure seemed to be both real and illusory within the ripples of water. It made Qin Wushuang dumbstruck. What kind of method is this? When Qin Wushuang saw this miraculous scene, he almost could not believe his eyes. Clearly, such method had surpassed his understanding. Even for elite warriors at the void martial stage, when they turned their bodies into nothingness, they would only hide in the air and be invisible. They would either appear in a flash or disappear. How could they achieve such a miraculous state? It seemed to be invisible and intangible. Who are you? Although Qin Wushuang was shocked inwardly, he still asked with caution. Ha ha, I am Yun Xueqin. This person had white hair and a youthful complexion. Although his voice was indifferent, there was an unusual friendliness in his tone. Young man, what is your name? Asked by a friend, I pushed a book. Tricking a celebrity to be my wife, book ID. 1743076, a perfect man who caused headaches for all the espionage organizations in the world, who even threw out 100 million euros to get his head, abandoned everything and returned to the city to live the life of an ordinary person. However, the reality was contrary to his wishes. He had become a contract husband with a world-class superstar. Would his life still be stable? To be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 416. This Yun Xueqin's voice seemed to carry some kind of magical power that made people unable to feel hostile or even resist. All of Qin Wushuang's hostility was instantly dispelled by these words that could transform the spring wind and rain. Suddenly, his mind became clear and a thought flashed across his mind. This must be an elite warrior from the Xian Yuan Mound. He is not someone I can defeat. If he was hostile, even 10 of me would not be able to resist. It's better to be calm. I am Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang's tone was calm and neither servile nor overbearing. Qin Wushuang. Yun Xueqin slowly chewed on this name. However, his face carried a confident expression as if everything was within his expectations. He nodded lightly. Indeed, your surname is Qin. Senior, why do you say this? Qin Wushuang was slightly surprised. Ha ha, young man, although I don't know you, I recognize the spear in your hand. I know that its original owner is called Qin Yu. Qin Wushuang's heart was shaken. He was not speaking without thinking. After the ancestral formation was activated, the letter left behind did mention the name of the first-generation ancestor, Qin Yu. Qin Wushuang remembered this clearly. Indeed, there was such an introduction in that letter. Thinking back, from the first-generation ancestor to his generation, at least 20 or 30 generations had passed. At least a few hundred years had passed. This person before him claimed to know the first-generation ancestor, Qin Yu. Could it be that this senior Yun Xueqin was from that era? With such doubt, Qin Wushuang looked at Yun Xueqin with astonishment. For a moment, he could not speak. Yun Xueqin smiled. Are you surprised? Qin Wushuang could not help but nod. It is somewhat inconceivable. However, thinking of your remarkable skills, it would be reasonable if you were an elite senior from a few hundred years ago. An elite from a few hundred years ago? Ha ha. Yun Xueqin laughed. If I said that I am over 1,000 years old, would you believe me? Yes. Qin Wushuang was honest. A smile appeared on Yun Xueqin's face. Young people are more honest. However, there's still one thing I don't understand. I remember that a few hundred years ago, Qin Yu had fought against an elite warrior from one of the powerhouses in the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. He had suffered severe injuries and disappeared without a trace. Who would have thought that a few hundred years later, he actually had a descendant? Indeed, ancestor Qin Yu was from the heavenly Emperor Qin clan. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. You don't know? Yun Shueqin was surprised. Yes, but not for long. Yun Shueqin says with a sigh. Even though Qin Yu and I are a bit older than him, we still have some friendship. Now, who knew how many generations of descendants he had inherited? Thinking about how time was silent, it really made one sigh. Hundreds of years had passed. Youngster, was this the place where Qin Yu settled down? No, ancestor Qin Yu had settled down in the human countries. The human kingdom. A trace of astonishment flashed across Yun Shueqin's face. Then, he understood something and gave a long sigh. Qin Yu endured humiliation and made such a great sacrifice for the Qin clan. Rare, truly rare. Only, he didn't know that the general trend of the world was determined by fate. It would be extremely difficult to change the fate of the Qin clan with one's own power. Youngster, since you are Qin Yu's descendant, it's fate. I see that you have an exceptional physique and exceptional talent. I could not help but feel some appreciation for your talent. However, now that the Heavenly Emperor Mountain is in a state of conflict, if I were to take care of you publicly, I would be criticized and people would say that I am protecting the Qin clan. Anyways, I will continue to be neutral. However, from my personal standpoint, I cannot remain indifferent when I see the descendant of an old friend. I will teach you a technique, are you willing to learn it? Qin Wushuang knew that for sure this Yun Shueqin was not ordinary. Immediately, he nodded. If I could receive your advice, I would be extremely grateful. How could I decline? Okay. Yun Shueqin opened his hand and a scroll appeared. This is a divine skill that I created in the past few decades. No one else knows about it. Currently, only I know how to use this technique. I will teach it to you. It is called the Cloud Feathery Technique. This technique is divided into many stages. As long as you can master the first stage, you can ride the clouds and fly at a speed comparable to other people's flying sword. Of course, if you want to use this technique, you need to enter the Void Transformation stage yourself. Transformation Void Stage. Inwardly, Qin Wushuang was shocked. To practice this technique, the entry requirement was to be at the Transformation Void stage. Then, this Cloud Feathery technique would be extraordinary. If I could reach my current stage, I could hide in the clouds and transform at will. Even if one has divine eyes, they would not be able to see through me. Yun Shueqin chuckled and handed the scroll to Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang took it respectfully. Thank you for your generous gift. Yun Shueqin waved his hand. Don't mention it. I also share some friendship with your Qin clan. I am more compatible with your ancestor Qin Yu. However, Qin Wushuang could not help but ask, Senior, in the end, what is troubling the Heavenly Emperor Qin clan? Could it be that in these few hundred years they could not get rid of it? Yun Shueqin looked around and smiled. All right, since I passed by this place, it's fate to meet the descendant of an old friend. I will tell you about it. He pointed to the grassland before them, and the two sat down. Yun Shueqin said, Your ancestor Qin Yu was an exceptional disciple of the Qin clan. Since he became famous, he had made a lot of contributions to the Qin clan. If he had not lost that duel, most likely he would not have left the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. In that duel, his dantian was broken and he suffered a severe injury. His strength had decreased greatly and was only equivalent to an advanced stage warrior. This made him feel greatly defeated. His position in the clan had also plummeted. Although the seniors of the clan did not neglect him and still recognized his contributions, there were still some narrow-minded people. In the end, there were some narrow-minded people in each clan. Amidst the rumors, Qin Yu could not stand such disparity and disappeared mysteriously. When I learned of this news, I searched everywhere and found nothing. I never expected that he had gone to the human countries. He had truly put in a lot of effort. Thinking about it, he must have gone to the human countries for that legendary formation. Qin Wushuang nodded. Indeed, the instructions left by my ancestor mentioned a formation. Qin Wushuang knew the importance of the 7 deadly arrays formation and did not dare to reveal it. He only followed Yun Shuechen's tone and added a sentence. Yes, it seems that my understanding of him was not wrong. Yun Shuechen nodded. It was rumored that the formation was extremely miraculous. The one who had acquired this formation could stand at the peak of the Tianxian land and rule the 5 forbidden spiritual zones. Perhaps, to Qin Yu, finding that legendary formation was the only way to solve the crisis of the Qin clan. Qin Wushuang nodded silently. At this moment, he had a much clearer understanding of his ancestor Qin Yu. Initially, Qin Wushuang did not have much recognition for this ancestor. However, after hearing about ancestor Qin Yu's deeds, he could not help but feel some admiration for his noble character and unquestionable integrity. To be able to move from a supreme place like the Heavenly Emperor Mountain to the most disliked human countries in the Tianxian land, just this boldness was enough to make one admire him. After all, not everyone could give up that glory. Everyone had the breadth of mind to bear such a huge drop. The Xianyuan Mound was a forbidden spiritual zone. It was the place with abundant spiritual qi in the Tianxian land and the most suitable place for training. And the Heavenly Emperor Mountain was the most superior territory in the Xianyuan Mound. To be able to live in the Heavenly Emperor Mountain meant supreme glory. Although Qin Wushuang did not know much about the Heavenly Emperor Mountain, he knew that the Heavenly Emperor Mountain held an extraordinary position. Haha, the matters of the legends are extremely vague. Even if it's true, one would need a great fortuitous opportunity to acquire it. Think about it, since the history of the Tianxian land, when has there not been a group of heroes standing side by side? When has there ever been someone who stood above the peak of the Tianxian land alone and looked down on other elite warriors? Although there were very few. Thus, to stand above the rules of the Tianxian land, it would be impossible for someone without great fortune. Initially, Qin Wushuang had also heard people talking about this fortuitous opportunity. Only when the head divinity chief of the 9 Raven Temple mentioned it to him did he truly pay attention to this problem. This way, he was a person with great fortune? The 7 terminal arrays formation was currently in his hand. According to what they said, he should be a person with great fortune. However, Qin Wushuang was not overly optimistic. He knew that currently, he was like a frog at the bottom of the well. He did not even know how high and how wide the sky was, not to mention thinking about standing above the rules of the Tianxian land. The road ahead was long and he must walk one step at a time. Young man, what else did Qin Yu mention in his last words? Qin Wushuang said. He said that for our disciples, when they reach the perfect stage, they can head to the Heavenly Emperor Qin headquarters. They can receive the treatment of a core disciple. Yun Shuechen could not help but laugh. It seems that Qin Yu did not hold any resentment when he was pushed away by those unfilial disciples of the Qin clan. He remained loyal and devoted to the Qin clan. He would not be able to return to the Heavenly Emperor Mountain in the future, yet he placed this hope on his descendants. Young man, you have reached the perfect stage. Are you planning to make a name for yourself at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain? Initially, I did have this plan. However, I am not certain about my background. Originally, he had planned to investigate this matter. Since you are the witness, it is true. Qin Wushuang said honestly. Yun Shuechen nodded lightly. There will not be any falsehood. People can be impersonated. However, bloodlines cannot be impersonated. This hegemon-breaking formation spear used by Qin Yu cannot be impersonated. Senior, what is the situation at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain? I know nothing about this. If you know, please enlighten me. Qin Wushuang asked for advice with a sincere attitude. Yun Shuechen laughed. Although it is inappropriate for me to interfere, I can talk about the situation at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. Do you know the meaning of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain to the Xian Yuan Mound? I only know that the Heavenly Emperor Mountain is a respected place in the Xian Yuan Mound. I don't know the exact meaning. Qin Wushuang did not conceal his lack of knowledge in this aspect. This was also the truth. Qin Wushuang did not want to conceal anything. Now, he only wanted to use different methods to absorb knowledge and enrich his knowledge. Thus, his desire to seek advice was extremely urgent and sincere. Especially regarding the Heavenly Emperor Mountain, this place that was most likely related to his fate, he was filled with curiosity. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please log on to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 4:17. Yun Shuechen said, "It's no wonder. Since you were born in the human countries, it's reasonable that you don't know about this Heavenly Emperor Mountain. In fact, most people of the Xian Yuan Mound did not know about the internal conflict at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. Let's put it this way, at the Xian Yuan Mound, the Heavenly Emperor Mountain is like the royal family of your human countries. In politics, it was equivalent to a leader. There were a total of 8 gates at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain and 8 major powerhouses resided there. These 8 great forces were not unchanging. Whoever had the upper hand would go up. Among the 8 major powerhouses, the strongest one was the master of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. It was equivalent to being in charge of the order of the Xian Yuan Mound. They are different from the royal families of your human countries. As the master of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain, he was in charge of the order of the Xian Yuan Mound. He could execute all rewards and punishments and set up most of the order. Thus, the Heavenly Emperor Mountain is similar to the royal family of your human countries, yet it is not the same as the royal family. It was because the Heavenly Emperor Mountain's own powerhouse was extremely powerful and definitely at the top of the Xian Yuan Mound. If they were not a first-rate powerhouse, they would not be qualified to stay at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. Not to mention competing for the seat of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. Qin Wushuang did not seem to understand. Since you are the master of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain and can control the Xian Yuan Mound, then wouldn't you be the master of the Xian Yuan Mound? Yun Shuechen laughed and shook his head leisurely. For these words, you must never say it at the Xian Yuan Mound. Xian Yuan Mound, why is it called Xian Yuan Mound? Why? Qin Wushuang could not help but ask. It's simple. The reason why the Xian Yuan Mound is called the Xian Yuan Mound is because of the existence of the Xian Yuan clan. The Xian Yuan clan was the true ruler of the Xian Yuan Mound. However, the Xian Yuan clan was a descendant of the primal god race and possessed the bloodline of the primal god race. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't participate in dispute. He only lived in seclusion and cultivated in seclusion, pursuing the supreme divine Tao. However, just because they didn't participate in disputes and weren't keen on power struggles didn't mean that they didn't exist. It only proved that their status was extraordinary. When they were truly needed, the Xian Yuan clan would naturally appear. Once the reclusive Xian Yuan appeared, either the Tian Xian land would fall into chaos or the Xian Yuan Mound would face a crisis. Apart from these 2 reasons, the Xian Yuan clan usually doesn't come out. Yun Shuechen's words made Qin Wushuang wake up from his dream. The Xian Yuan clan. This was not the first time that Qin Wushuang had heard this term. However, at this moment, he finally understood the true meaning of these 4 words and why the Xian Yuan Mound was called the Xian Yuan Mound. This way, for those powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain, even the master of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain, they are only the housekeepers of the Xian Yuan clan. They are only in charge of the management. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. Yun Xuechen nodded leisurely. That's right. However, since the history of the Tianxian continent, how many powerhouses had fought for the position of housekeeper but could not obtain it? How many forces went crazy for it? How many forces disappeared because of it? This is desire. Qin Wushuang sighed softly. Even if it's a butler, he's only second to one and above all. Yun Xuechen laughed. Above one person, above 10,000 people, this is the truth. The Qin clan has occupied the Heavenly Emperor Mountain for 3,000 years. During his most glorious time, he had led the Heavenly Emperor 8 gates and sat on the seat of the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. However, every dog has its day. For nearly 1,000 years, the situation at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain had deteriorated day by day. The situation was also far from good. Now, there are many doubts as to whether they could keep their position as one of the Heavenly Emperor 8 Gate. The competition at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain was extremely cruel. The Heavenly Emperor 8 Gates could only allow the 8 powerhouses to stay. There could not be one more and one less. Qin Wushuang seemed to have understood something. Hearing Yun Xuechen's explanation, he had more or less understood. The Qin clan was in a difficult situation. Without a doubt, they wanted to keep their position at the Heavenly Emperor Mountain. Only, since their strength had declined, of course they were anxious to keep their position. Just like the Eastwood Qin clan in the past, they had fallen into dire straits. Even a seat of the humble class was coveted by people. It seems that in the Tianxian land, regardless of the forbidden spiritual zones, the human countries, or any other places, the way of disputes are similar. It's nothing more than fighting for position, territory, and benefits. Qin Wushuang thought this way inwardly. Inwardly, he had fully understood the crisis the Qin clan was facing. After all, he had experienced it himself and was extremely familiar with this feeling. As one of the Heavenly Emperor 8 Gates, regardless of how much they had declined, they would always feel unwilling to give up their position. Just like the Eastwood Qin clan in the past, like his father Qin Lianshan, even when facing the threat of the Sioux, he was unwilling to give up his humble class seat. Seeing Qin Wushuang remaining silent, Yun Xuechen smiled freely. He stood up and said to Qin Wushuang, "I have said everything I can. As for how you choose, it's your own business. The Heavenly Emperor Qin clan is in a difficult situation. With your strength, it will not affect the general situation whether you go or not. Are you still going?" Qin Wushuang was rather straightforward as he nodded. "Yes." "Then," he said slowly, "since I am indeed a disciple of the Qin clan, regardless, I must go. Even if it will not affect the general situation, I must do my part to fulfill the wish left behind by Ancestor Qin Yu." Seeing Ancestor Qin Yu's noble character and unquestionable integrity, for sure, the Qin clan has something worth his effort and effort. Just this point alone I must not decline. A trace of surprise flashed across Yun Xuechen's eyes. Then, he laughed. "So similar your tone, your expression, vividly, you have Qin Yu's style. Ha ha. Then let's go take a look. However, I have a piece of advice for you. Do you want to hear it? Please enlighten me. Act according to your capabilities." Yun Xuechen said these 4 words carefully. If the situation is unfavorable, it is impossible to change it with one's power. Protect yourself, conceal your strength and bide your time, in order to make a comeback. If the fish dies and the net splits, then it is not what a wise person would do. Qin Wushuang accepted the advice respectfully. "Thank you for your advice, I will remember it in my heart." Yun Xuechen laughed. "Goodbye, young man, you are Qin Wushuang, right? Ha ha ha, I hope after today you and I will meet again." Qin Wushuang opened his mouth, and just when he wanted to ask him to stay, Yun Xuechen's body had gradually disappeared. Ripples flashed faintly and his entire body seemed to have been crushed into the void. Following a flash of sparkling light, not a single trace of him could be seen. Qin Wushuang was disappointed and frustrated. "Thank you, senior." In the sky, Yun Shuechen's voice echoed, "Remember my advice, act according to your capabilities." Qin Wushuang nodded slowly. He stood on top of the hill and looked towards the sky. He only saw that in the high blue sky, countless clouds were shuttling back and forth. Each cloud seemed to be transformed by Senior Yun Shuechen. Instantly, a wave of disappointment rushed to his heart. Although he had only talked with Yun Shuechen for a short while, Qin Wushuang felt that he had benefited greatly. It was as if they had known each other for hundreds of years. "Yun Shuechen," Qin Wushuang mumbled to himself, "I just don't know which powerhouse Senior Yun Shuechen belongs to. I also don't know what kind of shocking stage he has reached." Inwardly, Qin Wushuang had a trace of curiosity. While he was thinking, a call came from the other side of the hill. "Boss, who are you talking to?" On the opposite side of the hill, a golden figure emerged. It was Bao Bao. This Bao Bao had returned to his home from the Monkey King Mountain. He had restored his original appearance, a furry little golden monkey. "Bao Bao, how is Lone's solitary training?" Qin Wushuang went up with a smile. Without 10 days or half a month, who knows the result. However, most likely, Lone has broken through the limit of the perfect stage." Bao Bao smiled and suddenly said, "Also, boss, let me tell you a piece of good news. The Silver Monkey King has also broken through." A breakthrough? Qin Wushuang was shocked inwardly. The Silver Monkey King had broken through, and the Purple Flame Electric Beast was about to break through. Now, only Qin Wushuang was still on the path of the perfect stage. Although he was already 80 or 90% mature, and was only one step away from breaking into the void martial stage. However, when he could take this step, he would need to constantly accumulate experience and, more importantly, he would need the right timing. "Boss, I think I heard you talking a moment ago." Bao Bao looked around and did not see a single person. Inwardly, he was somewhat curious. Qin Wushuang lied out of goodwill. "I was training and talking to myself." Then, he changed the topic. "Bao Bao, I have created 2 spear moves. I already have the mood for one more move. I only lack the maturity. Do you want to take a look?" Bao Bao laughed. "Okay. Boss, bring it on. I am not afraid of you if you don't use the graceful spiritual bow." Qin Wushuang shook the hegemon breaking formation spear and gave a light hiss. He shook his arm and thrust the spear forward. Suddenly, like an escaping rabbit, his body moved abruptly and rushed forward with the spear. As if the head of the spear had been bestowed with life, its temperament had increased tremendously. A ball of light flashed on the head of the spear, as if lightning was flashing and a poisonous snake was spitting. "Watch the spear." Qin Wushuang gave a low shout and sent out the spear move. He shouted, "This is the first move, awakening move." The so-called awakening was to awaken one's inner self. It would awaken the potential inside the body and condense all of it into this peerless spear move. For this spear move, there were no fixed moves. It relied entirely on one's inner self to control it. The power of this spear move mainly relied on one's thoughts and the temperament of one's inner self. As soon as this temperament was formed, the potential of one's entire body was stimulated. The power of this spear move would be unleashed regardless of the move. Could be a stab, a flick, a slash, a chop, or a chop, all kinds of moves would be unleashed at the same time. As soon as the thought was formed, the spear moves kept emerging like bamboo shoots after the rain. Although it was called one move, in fact, it was endless and uncountable. Initially, Bao Bao felt that although Qin Wushuang's spear moves were powerful, he was at the perfect stage and would not be a threat to him, a spiritual beast at the void martial stage. However, seeing the power of Qin Wushuang's spear move, as if he had been injected with chicken blood, he had stimulated all the potential in his body to form this world-shaking spear move. Indeed, the power of this move made Bao Bao raise his eyebrows. Without daring to neglect, he waved his giant stick left and right to block Qin Wushuang's spear move. Now look at my second move, Congregated Nucleus move. Qin Wushuang changed his spear move and directly turned the profound mysteries of the power into the natural attribute. He initiated a wave of cold genuine qi from his hand and poured it out from the head of the spear. Qi. With a crisp sound, a surge of cold qi was formed from the head of the spear. With the urging of the flowing light, it formed into the shape of the spear head and pierced towards Bao Bao. This virtual spear head was filled with cold qi. Before it had reached its target, it had covered the surrounding vegetation with a layer of white frost. Bao Bao was shocked. Boss, what kind of move is this? To be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. There are more chapters. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 4:18. This spear attack came out of nowhere and caught Bao Bao off guard. He jumped and dodged to the side. Qin Wushuang stopped his spear attack and pierced the tip of the spear into the ground. He laughed. Bao Bao, what do you think of these two spear attacks? Now Bao Bao scuttled out from the side. Boss, for these two spear attacks, if I was prepared, most likely they would not have hurt me. However, I was caught off guard when you used it all of a sudden. Especially that wave of cold air, it almost made my hands and feet numb. That was the power of frost. Qin Wushuang nodded. Yes, this spear attack is called the Congregated Nucleus move. It is to use one's body to communicate with the natural elements. I once practiced the ice sword qi. Thus, I have a lot of understanding on how to form ice. A moment ago, I thrust out this spear attack. Such a strange spear attack. However, boss, next time when I am prepared, you will not be able to threaten me. Bao Bao laughed mischievously. However, Qin Wushuang said, this congregated nucleus move is only the beginning. My third move is called the deep nucleus move. It is the deeper stage of the congregated nucleus move. At that time, we will try it again. Let me remind you, regardless of this congregated nucleus move or the deep nucleus move, it does not have to be the freezing air. It could also form other elemental attack. Everything that is sent and received is under my control. Bao Bao stuck out his tongue and said with surprise, Boss, how many of the natural elements can you control? Qin Wushuang said, not everyone can control the natural power of the heaven and earth. Could it be that you must choose one or a few types to control? Bao Bao was shocked. Boss, are you kidding me? Although each of the 5 elemental bodies possess different elemental senses, there are always some elemental attributes that are stronger and some that are weaker. Naturally, when people train, they would choose those with talent and strong elemental senses to train. Boss, don't tell me you want to be an all-rounder? Qin Wushuang said, I don't feel any pressure when I operate all kinds of attribute. I also don't feel much difference. Of course, I understand your reasoning. But for me, since I don't feel any pressure when using any of the attributes, why not try all of them? Bao Bao was dumbstruck when he heard this. He gave a long sigh. Boss, could it be you are the legendary genius? Qin Wushuang said with a smile, maybe. Alright, Bao Bao, let's not talk too much. Let me ask you, how are the emotions of those red maple human clan's foreign experts? Haha, they are all very irritable. Only, in the end, they were still afraid of the monkey clan and did not dare to escape. Bao Bao laughed. Qin Wushuang nodded. I'll observe them in secret for the next few days. He wanted to see who had a good character and who had a bad character. If you have a good character, you can be useful to me. Bao Bao laughed. Boss, could it be you want them to seek refuge with the Stargaze Palace or your heavenly royal mansion? All of them are useful. Since they are experts, the more the better. At any time, Qin Wushuang felt that his power was not enough. It could be said that he was thirsty for talent. Especially at the heavenly royal mansion, besides his father and brother-in-law, there were almost no elite warriors that could hold their own. Okay, Bao Bao, take me to observe, Qin Wushuang said with a smile. When they arrived at the area where those foreign elite warriors were locked up, Qin Wushuang observed for a while in secret. Then, he said to Bao Bao, "Send someone to call that Lin Dian out. The first time I saw him, I thought he was a good person." Bao Bao responded and laughed. "Boss, wait here, I will arrange it now." At the Monkey King Mountain, Bao Bao held the same position as the Crown Prince. Naturally, he was efficient in his work. Soon, that Lin Dian was brought to the back mountain. While Lin Dian went up the mountain, he mumbled, "Are you going to make a move? If you are going to kill me, just do it. Why are you hiding like this? Since I am your prisoner, I am not afraid of death." However, Bao Bao said lazily, "I say, why do you keep thinking about death? I don't think we said we were going to kill you guys." However, Lin Dian said with a cold sneer, "Why are you locking us up instead of killing us?" At that time, Qin Wushuang had used his spiritual sense to inform the Silver Monkey King. Thus, these people did not know that it was Qin Wushuang's idea to not kill them. Of course, this Lin Dian was also kept in the dark. "Stop talking nonsense, go up." Bao Bao pointed to the top. Lin Dian did not hesitate. He knew that at this Monkey King Mountain, his fate was no longer in his hands. Thus, he decided to be straightforward and walked up. When he turned around the mountain slope, he saw a person standing on top. Despite his young age, he had an extraordinary temperament. He was sizing him up with a scrutinizing gaze. Lin Dian gave a light sneer and walked up casually. "What, since the Monkey Clan is not making a move, you are going to make a move?" Qin Wushuang laughed. "What move?" Lin Dian said angrily. "Stop pretending, Qin Wushuang, right? I have heard of your name. In the human countries, you are a good man. However, at the dispersed praying mountain, I still admire you." "Then who do you admire?" Qin Wushuang smiled and did not mind. "None of them," Lin Dian said straightforwardly. "Including that Yi Wentong?" Qin Wushuang asked leisurely. "Yi Wentong? He is only stronger than me and was born as the suzerain of the Red Maple Human Clan. In terms of character, he is the worst. Why should I admire him? If you don't admire him, why are you still following him?" Qin Wushuang asked sharply. "Besides the Red Maple Human Clan, there is no other place to stay in the dispersed praying mountain." Lin Dian said with a cold smile, "If I don't follow him, I can't even stay here. Could it be I am going to seek refuge with the barbarian tribe? To the Monkey Clan?" Qin Wushuang laughed. "A real man should have a foothold in the world. Since you don't like it, you should not stay here and die." Lin Dian was not in a good mood. "Why are you telling me these things? I only want to ask you, do you want to make a name for yourself? What if I want to? What if I don't want to?" Lin Dian asked in a low voice. "If you want, I will show you a path. If you don't, I will let you go down the mountain today. Regardless of where you go, I promise that no one will stop you," Qin Wushuang said seriously. "Only the situation in the Tianxian land is like this. A single tree cannot make a forest. Regardless of how strong a person is, in the end, he is only a freelance martial artist. Without an organization, without a strong backer, even in the human countries, you will not make a name for yourself." Qin Wushuang was not speaking without thinking. In the human countries, there were freelance martial artists who did not have a sect to rely on. However, most of these freelance martial artists were nameless. Even if they had some skills and could train to a good stage, they would not have a good reputation. Because you are alone, others would not be afraid of you. Who said I must be a freelance martial artist? If I go to the human countries and seek refuge with a sect, would they not take me in? In fact, Lin Dian had somewhat agreed with Qin Wushuang's words. Yet, he still spoke with a tough tone. Yes, if you seek refuge with them, with your advanced stage strength, you would not need to worry about them not taking you in. Only, if you seek refuge rashly, it would be somewhat difficult for you to gain an important position and a supreme position. Regardless, they would leave you with some tricks. Can an elder with a foreign surname like you occupy a core position in the Red Maple human clan? I am afraid not, right? Qin Wushuang smiled casually and hit the nail on the head. Lin Dian gave a long sigh. You are right. If one is not born into a good family and does not belong to a sect, could it be that one is destined to be a lonely ghost? Could it be that this is fate? Qin Wushuang laughed. Of course it's not fate, what you lack is an opportunity. Opportunity? Lin Dian raised his head in surprise and looked at Qin Wushuang. Qin Wushuang nodded. Yes, I have an opportunity now. I don't know if you are interested to hear it. Please speak. Lin Dian's tone had become much more relaxed. Qin Wushuang laughed leisurely. Since you have heard of my name, you should know my background. The country I am from is the newly promoted upper-ranking empire, the Great Luo Empire. In the human countries, they are currently in a tripartite balance of power with the Nine Raven and the Sky Travel Empire. They have replaced the position of the Red Dragon Empire. Now, the upper-ranking empire has just been promoted, and they are in need of talents. You want me to seek refuge with the Great Luo Empire? Lin Dian asked in a low voice. A secular empire is not interesting. I am recommending you to my sect, the Stargaze Palace, Qin Wushuang said with a smile. He stared at Lin Dian with a pair of bright eyes and would not allow him to escape. Lin Dian thought for a moment and said, I am afraid that your sect will not tolerate an outsider like me, right? Haha, then you don't need to think too much. The head palace master and the second palace master are tolerant. As long as you are a talent, you will be put in an important position. The Stargaze Palace is preparing to build a guardian court. If you go, you can become the head guardian. Lin Dian's brows moved. Head guardian? Then what is with the guardian court? They are only hired thugs, right? Qin Wushuang said with a smile. The position of a guardian is above the Shakyamuni and the elders. They only answer to the palace master. They hold a high position in the Stargaze Palace. You don't need to worry about being pushed aside. Lin Dian nodded. After a moment of silence, he asked again, Why did you choose me? Qin Wushuang laughed leisurely. At first glance, I saw your character. You are incomparable to those motley crew of the Red Maple human clan. Perhaps I have misjudged you. However, I feel that you are worth my effort. Lin Dian revealed a surprised look as he looked at Qin Wushuang with astonishment. Inwardly, he was surging with emotions. After living for a few dozen years, it was the first time someone had talked about character with him. And it was a compliment. Regardless of the motive, it was a form of praise. How about it? Qin Wushuang observed his expression and knew that Lin Dian was moved. He continued, Let me say some arrogant words. Today, if you choose to rely on the Stargaze Palace, perhaps it will be a wise choice for you in the future. In the past, many people did not hesitate when faced with the same choice as you. They chose to follow me. Now, every one of them feels very lucky. Lin Dian gave a long sigh. I must admit that you are a successful persuader. Qin Wushuang, I did not mean what I said a moment ago. In fact, you were able to reach the perfect stage at the age of 20. Not to mention me, even those damned suzerains of the Red Maple human clan are jealous. Qin Wushuang laughed when he heard these words. He realized that this Lin Dian had such interesting moments. He had thought that this Lin Dian was an old-fashioned and unreasonable person. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please log on to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. Chapter 419. Qin Wushuang waved his hand and threw out a purple long sword. He said with a smile, This is Yi Wentong's sword. It's an extraordinary object, consider it a meeting gift. And this set of equipment also came from Yi Wentong. Of course, it should be yours. Qin Wushuang was rather generous. Since he was being generous, he had no reason to be stingy. Currently, Qin Wushuang did not have any urgent need for weapons and armor. Of course, he was happy to give them out as a favor. Lin Dian took the two goods and looked at Qin Wushuang with disbelief. Indeed, he was somewhat surprised. Although he understood that the other party was trying to bribe him, he did not expect that he would be so generous. Even if he wanted to give a greeting gift, he would just casually give something. Why would he give away such important weapons and equipment? For your information, Yi Wentong was the leader of the Red Maple human clan. His weapons and armor were all first-rate goods. Bribing people's hearts, this is one of them. Qin Wushuang said with a smile. Most importantly, among all the elite warriors with the foreign surname, I think you are the most qualified to have them. After he had finished speaking, Qin Wushuang said again with a smile, this is an encouragement and not an end. Lin Dian, if you are a man, say something. I don't care if you go to the Stargaze Palace or not. In fact, I only want one word from you. What word? I only want to ask you, can you be loyal to the Stargaze Palace? From now on, will you follow the Stargaze Palace and live and die with them? Qin Wushuang asked seriously. Although the Stargaze Palace is only a sect in the human countries, we have passed down such spirit through the ages. Until death, we will never give up. Lin Dian's blood boiled. For his entire life, he had been pursuing this state. However, the descendants of the 8 great bandits of the Red Maple human clan did not have any virtue or ability. They did not give him the slightest sense of belonging. Hearing Qin Wushuang's question, Lin Dian did not hesitate and answered seriously. If that Stargaze Palace of yours is as good as you say, then I, Lin Dian, would not mind entrusting my life to it. Qin Wushuang gave a carefree smile. I only want your heart. I don't want you to die. Lin Dian, one day you will also tell me that you were lucky to have chosen to follow me. Lin Dian's lips curled into a smile. I'm also looking forward to it. However, I have heard of your name in the Red Maple human clan. I know you're an extraordinary person. In the future, if you can really make a name for yourself in the Forbidden Land of God, I will tell you in person that the choice I made today was extremely wise. Qin Wushuang said heroically, all right, it's a deal. That day will come. It's a deal. Lin Dian also laughed heartily. Qin Wushuang said, I have a letter here, you can keep it safe. When he arrived at the Stargaze Palace, he handed it to Zhuo Buchuan, the head palace master. He will know how to take care of it. Since Lin Dian had pledged his allegiance, of course, he would not be suspicious. He nodded and took the letter. Qin Wushuang said again, those elite warriors with the foreign surname, there are a lot of talents. I cherish talents. However, at the same time, I cannot neglect their character. Lin Dian, you are familiar with many of them. If they have good character, regardless of their strength, you can pick some of them to be your stepping stone. When you arrive at a place, you will feel more secure with some of your own people around you, right? However, my only request is that the people you pick must have good character. They must not betray the sect and be two-faced. Lin Dian thought for a moment and nodded. Although this time, it seems that we have abandoned the Red Maple human clan, in fact, we have only abandoned the descendants of the 8 great bandits. If they had not betrayed us and pushed aside elite warriors with the foreign surname, even if they could not beat you guys, they would not have betrayed us. Among those people, for sure, there are some with bad character. However, there are also a few hot-blooded men. I will pick a few. Not many, 7 or 8 will do. However, the ones I pick are at least at the middle stage. There are also a few at the advanced stage. Qin Wushuang laughed. That would be the best. For people, quality is more important than quantity. If they have bad character, it would be useless to give a few hundred of them. When we really need them, they would only cause trouble. For such people, we don't need them. Lin Dian nodded slowly. Okay, then I will go pick a few. Qin Wushuang nodded. Don't be in a rush to pick. Go back and keep a low profile. Observe them in secret. Don't let them know my intentions for now. When we pick people, we must not mix the good and the bad. When we pick one, we must make sure they are the best. Okay. Lin Dian was extremely satisfied. The conversation with Qin Wushuang had allowed him to fully appreciate the charm of this young man. Compared to this, being generous was an insignificant matter. Most importantly, from this young man, Lin Dian felt a mature temperament and the temperament of someone in control. With such temperament at such a young age, one could see the potential and future of this young man. If he worked hard for such a young man, his future would be much better than staying in the dispersed praying mountain and waiting for death. This was the conclusion Lin Dian had reached after thinking for a long time. After Lin Dian had left, Bao Bao scrambled out and laughed. Boss, how did it go? Qin Wushuang said. Lin Dian is a promising talent. He's worth betting on. Bao Bao nodded. This person has a backbone. By the way, boss, a moment ago the Silver Monkey King sent an order for us to go see him. Qin Wushuang said, I haven't congratulated the Silver Monkey King for entering the Void Martial stage. Let's go now. After arriving at the holy place of the Monkey Clan at the Phoenix Return Mountain, after the breakthrough, the entire temperament of the Silver Monkey King had changed drastically. When he saw Qin Wushuang, the Silver Monkey King laughed. Young Master Qin, have you gotten used to living at the Monkey King Mountain? Ha ha, the scenery at the Monkey King Mountain is beautiful and I feel at home. It's very comfortable. Hearing his words, the Silver Monkey King laughed with satisfaction. That's great. Young Master Qin, the Monkey Clan will wait for Bao Bao to grow up. Then, it's possible for us to migrate back to the Xian Yuan Mound and take back our territory. By that time, this dispersed praying mountain will be ownerless. If you like, you can take this Monkey King Mountain as your residence. The entire Monkey Clan would be happy to give you this Monkey King Mountain. Qin Wushuang was shocked. Your Majesty, how could we do that? The Silver Monkey King laughed. Why not? The Tian Xian land is like this. Without an owner, in less than a year, someone will take it away. If the Monkey Clan truly migrates back, sooner or later, this Monkey King Mountain will be ownerless. Rather than letting other powerhouses take it, we would rather give it to our own people. The Silver Monkey King's words came from the bottom of his heart. Bao Bao also said, Boss Wushuang, this is not a joke. It would be such a pity if other powerhouses took the Monkey King Mountain. If it falls into the hands of our own people, even if the Monkey Clan does not live happily in the Xian Yuan Mound, we will have a way to turn back. The Silver Monkey King looked at Qin Wushuang with an earnest gaze. Apparently, he was waiting for his opinion. Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. Since your Majesty has said it this way, of course I cannot refuse. In the future, if I, Qin Wushuang, were to build my own powerhouse, I will use this dispersed praying mountain as my base. The Silver Monkey King laughed. Okay. Young Master Qin, in fact, although this Monkey King Mountain is not as good as many of the holy places in the Xian Yuan Mound, it is still a rare place. In the dispersed praying mountain area, it is definitely the place with the most abundant spiritual qi and the most beautiful scenery. Or else, that red maple human clan and the barbarian tribe would not have coveted it. Qin Wushuang said, Of course. The Silver Monkey King waved his hand and suddenly, the red-faced guardian walked over with a tray in his hand. On top of the tray there was a jade bottle. Apparently, it contained some precious goods. Young Master Qin, these are some gifts from the Monkey Clan to thank you for your help this time. Please accept them and don't refuse. The Silver Monkey King said with a smile. Qin Wushuang kept declining. Your Majesty, with my relationship with Bao Bao, it's reasonable for me to give him advice. Besides, the Monkey Clan had given me so many gifts, it's also a great favor. The Silver Monkey King laughed. Those are two different things. Initially, young Master Qin had saved the Monkey Clan once. Now, it's the second time. How could it be the same? Young Master Qin, if you decline, it means you think our gifts are not valuable enough. Your Majesty, aren't your words too generous? Qin Wushuang gave a long sigh. The Silver Monkey King put down that tray and said, Young Master Wushuang, the Monkey Clan already had this thing when we lived at the Monkey King Mountain. It was only until now that we managed to find the name of this item in the ancient records. Bao Bao moved closer. Monkey King, what is this? The Silver Monkey King said with a solemn expression. This is the Purple Cloud Spiritual Fruit. Purple Cloud Spiritual Fruit? Bao Bao blinked his eyes. What's the use of this thing? Can it increase your strength? Is it as good as the holy ivory flower? The Silver Monkey King laughed awkwardly. Compared to the holy ivory flower, of course there is a difference. This thing is not a fruit that can increase your spiritual qi or increase your lifespan. According to the information, this thing is the seed of an ancient spiritual fruit. It's rumored that after eating it, you can grow a pair of wings on your back. When flying in the sky, you can travel 1,000 miles in one jump. In one day, you can fly 100,000 miles. Truly divine. 100,000 miles in one day? Even Qin Wushuang was dumbstruck. He kept shaking his head. For such a divine object, I would not dare to accept it. The Silver Monkey King gave a long sigh. Young Master Qin, if you don't dare to accept it, then this thing is useless to the Monkey Clan. Besides humans, most of the beast clans are in conflict with this fruit. Even if you eat it, you will not grow the purple cloud yin yang wings. Qin Wushuang asked curiously, How could this be? The Silver Monkey King said seriously. Even so, although there are some humans that are on good terms with the Monkey Clan, only young Master Qin has shown such kindness to the Monkey Clan. Tell me, if I don't give this thing to you, who should I give it to? Although this thing is slightly inferior to the holy ivory flower. However, it is one of the two signature treasures of the Monkey King Mountain. Now, the Purple Cloud Spiritual Fruit is yours and Bao Bao has swallowed the holy ivory flower. Both of the signature treasures of the Monkey King Mountain have an owner. It's not a waste for the Monkey Clan to stay at the Monkey King Mountain for thousands of years. For thousands of years, the Monkey King Mountain had produced these two signature treasures. It was apparent that this divine object was extremely rare. Even 1,000-year-old divine fruits like the spiritual infant fruit and the jadeite iceheart fruit could not compare to it. For 1,000-year-old treasures like the spiritual infant fruits and the green iceheart fruit, although they could not be mass-produced in the Xian Yuan Mound, they were not rare. However, at the Monkey King Mountain, they were rare treasures. For the holy ivory flower and this purple cloud spiritual fruit, they were priceless treasures in the Xian Yuan Mound. Even at the Xian Yuan Mound, they were rare treasures. To be continued. If you want to know the future, please go to www.chidian.com. Support the author, support the original reading. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.